All right, y'all. It's your guy, eBay Fight Prediction, and my boy Ed. This is Fight Talk number 21. We got 21 of these, baby. Yeah, we are here to talk about the long awaited UFC 292. And my guy Ed, introduce yourself, baby.
Um, Shit, that was my phone. My bad. Yeah. Your boy Aljo's still the bantamweight goat, by the way. Can we just get that in there? That's the first thing I'm gonna say.
Oh, man.
That's, that's
40
the first.
seconds in, and he starts with the mass delusion, y'all. Y'all hear
Yeah.
this, man?
My boy slipped. Okay, it happens. That octagon was slippery. But
Oh,
I am sad though. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think I'd be this hurt about it. It's weird, but
yeah, I mean, I feel you on that. There's those, certain fights where it just stings, it
bro, it
stings.
really does, man. Like, I don't know, like it's a bit different. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't seen Aljo lose in like 3, 4 years, but you see Kiesa lose all the time. So it's
Uh,
like, bro, my point is, bro, I'm not used to them losing it. Like Aljo, Steve,
this guy.
Leon. I'm not used to those guys losing it. It's not the same. Like your boys going like your boys go 2-2. Like my boys tend to go and beat them for like 4 years, 6 years, that kind of thing.
Oh man, the guy has started. The guy has started.
No,
Um,
I was disappointed because I'm like, come on, you're better than that. Do you know what I mean? And he was caught with a simple like pull counter, which I
yeah,
thought was gonna be one of the shots that if Sugar lands, it could have been problematic. I just like he said something that was quite telling in the aftermath of the fight, and you see it in the backstage clips and all the rest of it. He's like, I could have fought the rest of the fight how round one went, but he wanted to be entertaining and he kind of put something on he put something on himself to like perform or be a bit more expansive. But I thought round one was perfect. And I
yeah,
just in my head I was like, look, they've made you turn around 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever the fuck it was.
yeah,
Well, like 3 months. I think it's 3 months because he fought in May, right?
yeah.
Um and I'm like, look, they're making you cut weight. Like, you got the quick turnaround. Just fucking let's get out of there with the W, and then obviously you can start. You can have your leverage now. He's put
Mm.
himself in terms of negotiating power. He's put himself in a bad situation, and I know you're going to ask me about that in a bit, but I'll let you say what you want to say, and then we can discuss what I mean by that.
I feel like I talked a lot of mess in my pack watch video. I think I got all my Aljamain hate out of the way, but so
Yeah,
now I get to be a little more. I might grill you. I might be like, all right,
yeah.
tell me how that
Name of the game, right?
canvas tastes. Tell me how that canvas tastes, Aljo, baby. You already know what that canvas tastes. Back in the day in New Jersey when Marlon Rice knocked him out. Now you know how that Boston canvas tastes. Now, all right, back to back cages, baby. But besides that though, I here's what I think honestly, here's my main reasoning for picking O'Malley, even though I do think Aljamain is the better mixed martial artist when you talk about skill for skill.
Yeah,
The reason why I picked him is because of championship fatigue. I literally saw, and I've never ever in my life been high on Dominic Reyes, never, but I literally saw Dominic Reyes beat John Jones, and John Jones was super active. If you remember, he fought Smith, Thiago Santos, all these guys kind of
uh,
back to back to back.
I think he fought Gus Santos and Smith like in quite a short span of time, from what I
Exactly.
remember.
So when you have a young up and coming lion coming up, he's watching the king. He is watching him detail for detail. And if the lion is working, right? If the lion is tired, the king we're talking about, the king is tired, the
Yeah, yeah.
tactics come.
He was the king in that instance? Remind me.
Uh, Whatever. Okay. Yeah, the very peasant-like king, the very hobbit-looking king, the very mediocre king.
He's
Uh,
taller than Jan, by the way. Let's not call him a hobbit.
okay, Jan he's a tall in guy spirit. Okay, and we're back, baby. I just want you to know, Peter Yan fans, we are so back. But okay, let me finish my statement though.
Yeah,
When these when these things are being shown over time, the younger lions are going to be like, okay, this is something we can do. This is the openings. And when the king at the time is working and stuff like that, he's gonna be tired. You can't win forever. There's something called, in my humble opinion, championship fatigue. I saw with Kumar Usman. That's why I punched the ticket with Leon Edwards. You know what I'm saying? And I saw with Aljamain Sterling. He was in longer fights than he normally ever been. If you go look at his entire career, he's never been in a lot of 5-round fights, right? And he just been in 2 back-to-back 5-round fights, or well, not 2, but like out of his last 3, he's been in 2 5-round fights.
Yeah,
So
I understand.
more tape.
I think the TJ was what 2 or 3 rounds as well, and it was a bit longer than in my opinion, should have been. Like if you see that wounded Gazelle, you fucking wipe him out. But I'll judge all his time with him.
Yeah, Jan is getting stopped by O'Malley if they rematch. Bro, Devin, don't talk to me right now. Okay. All right. Okay. You don't talk to me right now. Peter,
I found it funny how you posted that Volk video. I didn't think that would ever get posted. I'm not gonna lie. Not because of the outcome of the fight, but I just didn't think it would be such a talking point.
Oh, of what?
the Aljo fans versus Volk thing.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It's so crazy. It's so there's so much we could talk about when it comes to Aljo. I feel like this whole podcast might be about Aljo. There's so much nonsense I had to endure as a logical Aljo hater, But Devin, I'm telling you, Jan is coming back, bro. You guys thought we were 12 feet under. We're climbing through the dirt, baby. You tried to bury us alive, baby. We are coming back, and we're not gonna be stopped. Okay?
Yeah. Just to remind you that Aljo's got as many more title defenses than Jan's got top 5 wins. But yeah, he's coming back.
Oh, we spiced up that stream with that easy video to be made. Yeah, I know that fucking. No, that oh my! I was so triggered for you guys. I ain't gonna lie, you guys kind of triggered. It was bad. Yeah,
that was so funny. That was so funny, and we took it so far as well. We really wound you. That's what was funny about it.
I was losing my mind. I was like, "Are these guys insane, bro?" But Aljo, no. But with all due respect, I feel like I kind of got on him a little hard, But to be honest, though, with Aljo, and you guys can take it how you might, but he's a good champion, a good workhorse champion. He's accomplished a lot in his career. I do respect him. He's a second class Hall of Famer. I don't know if he's first class yet. I don't know if he can get that first class spot. But
if Dominic Cruz is first class, then so is it. So is
you betrayed. You betrayed. But I think.
Wait, you said I betrayed. What did I do?
I think he's probably talking. Nah, Devin's always talking about me. But yeah, I think Aljo, he accomplished a lot. I give him his credit. Yeah, he has nothing to be ashamed of. He accomplished a lot more than I ever thought that dude would ever do in a million years. So he made it pretty far. But it just, my thing is, also it just felt like that O'Malley KO was just meant to be. That just moment was meant to be. I don't know if you had that feeling too, but it just
I just don't like how, I don't know, man. Like the UFC posted it on YouTube straight after and shit like that. They've never done that before. Why they've done it at the expense of Aljo? Just felt a bit weird to me. And a lot of the promotion like after it as well, and it was like, it was weird because obviously they talk about they're not making fights on the night of the fight, but everybody's kind of penciled in that O'Malley Cheeto 2 is going to happen, and then like I was saying earlier, obviously I do think that Aljo's, in terms of a negotiating standpoint, he's in a sticky situation, but we can expand on that if you want.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot to tell. I mean, dude, that main event is, I'm serious. There's so many angles, and that's like, I think as much as I'm not the biggest O'Malley fan in the world, even though I really do appreciate him for getting that KO, there's so many angles we can take O'Malley right now. There's so much we can talk about, like the matchups, how long he'll last as champion, what they'll do to protect him, But let me read this. eBay betrayed all wrestlers and wrestling in general, talking shit about Aljo for years.
It wasn't about me. That's good.
Let me tell you something. That man isn't a wrestler. That man is a actor, baby. All right, so let's.
Human backpack, baby. Let's not rewrite shit now. Human backpack.
But
obviously, like you're saying, like with the O'Malley thing, you're right. There's so many things that that's going to happen with O'Malley, but I think the one thing that we can agree on, that we know he will get protected, and we know they will try and protect him for as long as they can.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure. Like
that's
we
the
all,
game plan.
like obviously the tricep injury is going to hurt Corey a lot, but it's like, bro, we know Cheeto's next, and then we know after that, should someone else come in the rankings that we deem that as a more favorable matchup, O'Malley's going to call him out. And then there's going to be the whole narrative of O'Malley is the draw, so he can pick and choose who he wants to fight. You know
Yeah,
that bullshit that they always say when people like, it's like they said the same thing when Conor was on the rise and he was like, I want to fight this guy, I want to fight that guy. Well, Khabib was running through people. Tony was in his prime running through people. He didn't want any of that. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like even when he tried to fight RDA as well, and then obviously that fell through, and then he fought Diaz twice, and then Eddie Alvarez is holding the belt. And
yeah.
I think you like obviously hindsight's 2020, but I bet if you looked at the lightweight rankings at that time, Eddie was a much more favorable matchup to him than like a Khabib or a Tony. Am I right or am I wrong?
I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Mm.
Eddie. I always thought Eddie had some
Takes too many
wrestling.
shots, though, man. I know, but he eats too many shots. And
Yeah, you're
Connor's
right. You're right. You're right. But back in the day, I thought Eddie could have made it interesting if he wrestled, but he didn't wrestle at all. I mean, he tried kind of, but it was
the
too
thing
little,
is
too late.
though, like Mystic Max said it at the time, this whole stocky wrestlers with an overhand. He's
Yeah,
fought those schmucks before, especially those American fighters with Chad Mendes and stuff like that. That's
yeah.
why I'm
That's
convinced. I'm convinced he'll smoke Chandler, especially because the UFC will have him on roids and not tell anybody and cover it
yeah.
up. Bro, they did it with Brock Lesnar when he fought Mark Hunt. Let's not pretend like they're not above that shit.
I know. Well, I mean, he's on roids right now. He really is. So and there's no denying it. And I mean, that's probably the fight that's gonna happen. I do think I do see a world where I do think Connor can beat Chandler. I really, really do. I do see it, but it depends on what Connor we're gonna get. I think that's the biggest thing. Are we gonna get a guy that's motivated, that's in shape to fight, that's well conditioned to fight? And when I'm talking about taking damage, is willing to really go to war?
Do
Because
you think
let's
he
not
needs
forget.
to be, you think he needs to be that conditioned though?
I mean, you never know. Things can go sideways, man. I mean, if everything goes right for him, yeah, you're right. I think it'll be
I mean,
picture
but
perfect.
given Chandler's ability to take a shot on McGregor's power, do you think McGregor needs to be conditioned for 5 rounds? Because I personally don't.
I mean, he should be. I mean, you never know, dude.
Of
Chandler's
course
a
it should
dog.
be. Of course it should be. But in my head, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna run through this guy in 2 rounds,
Yeah,
and
I could see it. Like if this was, and again, if this was 2016 Connor, I do think that Chandler's in a world
yeah.
of trouble. I think it's either he's a takedown or a bust. But I honestly do think if Chandler's, I mean, you saw how he fought against Dustin Poirier, right? He made it a tough fight. If he can get in those later rounds, this fight can be really interesting. Real talk.
I think
But
Chandler never takes an easy route though. I think for the red panty night he would,
yeah,
just because a win over McGregor
it's
kind of
important.
he's gonna make so much money outside of the octagon. Like if you remember when Dustin beat him in the second fight, Dustin the next like week or so he ends up on Hot Ones eating wings and shit,
I
and then
know.
Joe Rogan gets him on JRE and all
Yeah,
the rest of it, and he starts. Dustin was already making decent money, but he started making even more money after the first win he got over McGregor, and it's like
yeah,
it's kind of that effect, isn't it? Like I'm sure Chandler's going to be like, right, I fought like a schmuck against Dustin and Justin, even though I was in good spots in both of those fights. In
yeah.
the McGregor fight, I might play a bit more safe just because I know I'm going to reap the rewards of beating him. Because if I lose to him, I end up like a Cerrone or all the rest of it. It's just like,
Yeah, it's a possibility. I think UFC will do O'Malley versus Vera 2 in December and Merab versus Sudo. So O'Malley wins most likely, and if Sudo wins, they make O'Malley versus Triple C, and if Merab wins, they do O'Malley Sterling rematch then Corey. So let me ask you, okay, since he brought up Merab,
yeah,
we
oh,
also
bro,
and that's the one thing we have to talk about when it comes to
yeah,
Aljo and Merab. All right, at first, at the beginning of all of this, I respected their friendship and I respected the fact they didn't want to fight each other. That's really good. At
yeah.
this point, this is becoming ridiculous.
Bro, you don't have to. You don't have to tell me. I agree with you.
This is
I
he
agree with
doesn't
you.
have the belt. You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
for me, like Marab turns 33 in January, bro, and he hasn't fought for a belt yet. Let's say he goes and fights for the belt and loses it, and loses his title fight. He spent 2 years chasing after a belt that he didn't get. It's like the Tony Ferguson situation, and it's
Yeah,
like, what the fuck do you do? And it's like, see, I'm with you because the UFC are gonna put Marab on ice because they don't really want him fighting new contenders. Because if he beats them, he takes them out of the title picture, whilst he's not also wanting to fight for the belt himself. And this is what I was saying to you about Aljo's negotiating power earlier, where I was alluding to, where it's like, look, Aljo's told the UFC, win, lose, or draw, he wants to fight. This will probably be his last fight at 135.
yeah,
He can't go to the UFC now, today, no white, and go, right, I want to fight for my belt again. Because one, the UFC aren't interested in having him in the title picture at 135. And two,
yeah.
you've just more or less given away, you've shown your hand. You've told them you're not interested in fighting at 135, more or less, before that fight happened.
Yep.
So they're going to say, right, you want a title shot again at 135? Yes, Dana. I'll do anything to get that shot. Okay, fight Umar.
Yeah.
That's what they'll do. That's what they'll do. They're strong arming. They'll either get to take a fight he doesn't want, or to fight a guy he's already beat, or it's like deja vu. Like imagine him fighting Peter Yan a third time.
That's the fight. I think that's the fight they make. Honestly, on real talk.
Because Corey's out right now. Cheeto's gonna fight this guy. Marab's on ice. Who's left
If
in the
Jan
top
gets
five
one, my bad. If Jan gets one win, all y'all need just one win, and they'll make that trilogy. They really will. It'll be a big fight night main event between Aljo and Peter Yan. I promise you, they'll do it.
Yeah, but for me, that looks like the kind of fight where, given that Jan's obviously taking time out to find a new camp and all the rest of it, that's to me is the kind of fight that they would put in Abu Dhabi next year.
Yeah,
and we've got time away because obviously I think Aljo's suspended for a while now because obviously of the knockout and everything else.
Yeah, he's probably gonna take 6 months off.
Yeah, and he said himself he wants to take time off anyways. Yeah. And obviously, we can't really pencil anything in because we don't know when Volk's next fight's going to be. But like, I don't think Aljo's going to fight for a belt. I think Volk deaded that in the water, which is fine. It's shit, but it's fine.
No, and you know what's crazy about Aljo? Honestly, like real talk, I'm just gonna be 100% honest, Ed.
Yeah.
You know I don't like that guy, but real talk, him versus Max Holloway is a very, very winnable. I know it's a tough fight. Max is a big guy
as well. I've said that as well.
It's a very winnable fight for him. I don't like Aljamain Sterling at all, but he can beat Max Holloway. There's a chance.
I think so as well.
And Max is the undeniable number one contender, right?
But
he is.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why that matchup makes a lot of sense. You've got, from a booking standpoint, they're on very similar schedules. Like obviously they're fought a week apart. Aljo's going to need to take 6 months off anyways because of the knockout, and he'll probably want to put on muscle mass to get to 145, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously he's not going to want to fight with a bantamweight frame, which is respectable, even though he's one of the bigger guys. That's fine. Obviously this is us being arrogant and assuming he beats TKZ, but I think universally I don't know anybody who's picked TKZ. Yeah. That's by the by. Say Max beats TKZ. He's beat more or less everybody in the top 5 by Ilia Topuria, which we should keep on ice, by the way, because if Max then turns around and fights Ilia Topuria and he beats him, that division's fucked because we got no contenders for Volk because he's just beat number 6 in Arnold Allen, and he was supposed to be one of the guys that we were going to look at. So Max would need to sit out for 6 months regardless and see who's next for him to fight. In that time, we've got Aljo putting on the weight and recovering from the KO loss. We have those 2 fight. If Aljo beats Max Holloway, he's got a credible win at 145 to justify him getting a title shot. And that gives you another contender for Volk or a first title defense for Ilia Topuria. Again, depending on how the 145 title picture looks and when Volk decides to fight.
Yeah.
For so many reasons, that fight makes sense because they're both going to be doing fuck all for the next 6 months.
Yep. Yeah. Here's the thing. Win or lose, no matter what, if Max beats Aljo, it has no real impact on the division if Aljo loses. But if Aljo wins, you have a new player, right? And you have something to look forward to. And you never know. If Volk wins, then you do the former champ versus the current champ. If Ilia Topuria wins, you never know. They probably might do a Volk rematch. But let's say Volk takes some time. You could do Aljamain Sterling versus Ilia Topuria. It's a fun. It makes the division fun. It spices things up. And that's just
it gives us 4 players and 3 or 4 fresh potential matchups.
and
And
then
we've got
maybe my bad.
we've got Ortega to come back. We've got Yair to come back. Arnold
Yep.
Allen's going to come back. Arnold Allen hasn't really fought anyone in the top 5, 6 besides Holloway. A lot that top 4 is the only top 4 that hasn't fought each other. Max has fought all of them. Volk's fought all of them, but the rest of them haven't fought one another. So we've got a lot of chips on the table, which makes 145 interesting, especially if I hate to say it,
Devin's playing with fire right now.
Yeah, especially if Topuria potentially wins the belt, because Volk's going to be 35. We've all seen that record of the 35-year-olds in title fights. I think Tyron Woodley's the only guy under 170 to have 2 victories.
Yeah.
Well, it's like he's got the only 2 wins.
Yeah.
And you've got Volk. We've just seen him have a competitive fight at 155. He's done all that needs to be done at 145. If you lose, I don't like this obsession where champions always rematching to win their belts back. For me, like I saw Aljo lose. I'm upset, but to be honest, I'm at a point where Aljo's beat practically everybody in the top 5. I don't need to see him fight and make another run at bantamweight. He's got a legacy at bantamweight. Let him fight at featherweight and let him not make such a drastic weight cut. Let's see him good. Let's see him healthy. Let's see him replenished. And let's get the best out of Aljo whilst we've got another year or 2 left in him at the top level, if that makes sense. And then obviously it's the same with Volk, really. Like I want to see Volk at 55.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys I think should move up, to be honest with you. Real talk. There's a big debate for a lot of people. And here's the thing. If Aljo moves up, it does the best thing for Merab, right? And here's the thing. I actually want Merab to fucking stand the fuck up. All right, enough of this. Oh, my friend needs his belt, this or that. It's over. It's your fucking time. Enough is enough. All right. If Merab plays like this, he will play with fire and he will get passed through. You know, Tony Ferguson, at least he has a legitimate debate that the company did this to him, right? He can say that. Yeah. But if Merab lets this go through, he has no one else to blame but his fucking self.
Do you think he can make 125? Because he's talked about that before.
Dude, no fucking way. He's insane if he tries that. He's a big fucking guy. I mean, he's short, but he's fucking stocky. You know what I'm saying? He's fucking.
I always thought he was stocky, but everyone calls him small. It's the whole thing about the height, the height thing, making people think they're not as big as they are. But it's just he's always looked like, I don't know, quite filled in terms of. Dude,
what he fucking did to a Jan, bro? I still have fucking PTSD from that shit. Like, this shit was a beatdown. You know what I'm saying? He's fucking big, you know? So,
yeah.
Him, obviously, if he wants to go fight Cejudo, I think that is a dangerous matchup for him. He is playing with fire if he does it, but at least go fight for a real opportunity to become a champion. You know what I'm saying?
That's not past the UFC to make that fight, because they'll want to see one of those guys. They'll want to get rid of one of the grapplers from the equation, because they are not going to be in a rush to give O'Malley a grappler. Everyone can say, well, he did X, Y, and Z to Cejudo, to Sterling. Okay, cool, but that doesn't mean the UFC are going to fucking exactly be like rolling out the welcome mat for fucking grapplers to fight O'Malley. They're just not. Like,
yeah,
they're really not.
Yeah. I think Sterling is very overrated. Still, there's nothing to suggest that Sterling would get obliterated at 140. Exactly. You look like.
Do any of them really have one? Do any of them really have one punch knockout power?
Yeah, not. I mean, especially Max. Like, Max doesn't have nothing. You know, Max got.
I think Wolf's got a crisp jab. I think Ilia Topuria can fucking hurt him. I think Kate has got clean boxing, but I don't think he will score knockdowns. Not really.
He could.
I think Max. Yeah, but Kate's knockdowns have been uppercuts and fucking rear elbows, though. They've not been like punches.
Yeah. Okay, I feel you.
So for me, like that's off the Burgos fight and the Jeremy Stevens fight, if I remember correctly. But like Ortega, the last knockdown I remember of his is throwing that fucking spinning back elbow against Korean Zombie. Before that, I think it was an uppercut on Clay Guida. Was it Clay Guida or Frankie Edgar? He knocked out one of those two. I know he's knocked both out, but one of those two knocked out with an uppercut. It's just like in general, they're just. That division's not really notoriously known for fucking like knockout power, like Giga Chikadze, Sadiq Youssef, guys like that. in the rankings. If I look at 145 now, Yair's crisp as fuck, but he's more of a kicker. Arnold Allen's got a left hand that will like knock you down the middle, but again, he's not really known for knockdowns. Josh Emmett's got a one-hit quitter, but he throws wide.
Yeah, he's pretty old now.
Mavs as a grappler, Bryce is a grappler. I've just mentioned Sadiq. Danny Ige, he wouldn't have touched an Aljo fight in 50 years just because Aljo isn't taking a bum fight like that. I don't really need to mention fights like Bobos and Caceres because realistically, if you're Aljo, you're fighting guys in the top 6 if you move up to 145.
Yeah. I mean, and there's a lot. I mean, even if he doesn't fight Max, I mean, him versus Ortega is very interesting. I like jiu-jitsu versus jiu-jitsu. The fucking jiu-jitsu community will come out for that one.
Yeah, but the Ortega thing was fun for me. But this is what I want to ask you, right? So Alex Pereira, we've just seen get sparked in 2 rounds, right? Same exact scenario as Aljo's, by the way. He got knocked out in round 2.
Yeah.
He turns around. He fights in a new division. Who did he fight? He fights a former champion.
Yeah.
But then there are people that want to argue Aljo's got to earn himself the right to fight X, Y, and Z at 145. Like, who the fuck you talking to? Like, Aljo holds the record for most consecutive title defenses at 135. Alex literally got there because of Izzy.
Yeah.
Like, he's got 0 title defenses to his name, by the way, Alex Pereira. As good of a fighter he is.
Yeah.
Like, Alex Pereira's legacy at middleweight isn't what Aljo's is at 135. Am I right in saying that?
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
He gets to fight the former champion and get a top. And now we're talking about him fighting for a belt in the 2nd division. And he's been in the promotion, 2 years?
I know.
But Aljo, who's put in this work for a decade, we're talking about him. People are actually like taking a piss now, saying, "Oh yeah, we need to give him a fight like Josh Emmett or Calvin Kattar." Fuck off. In my opinion, bro, especially because Ortega's out, and people are going to want to see the jiu-jitsu. We either have him fight Brian Ortega, and we see if Low T City or the Human Backpack see who comes out on top, or we see him fight Holloway, like I said about the 6-month timeline that I gave. But
yeah, do the Max. I think the Max fight is the best fight to make. And if they, I mean, and would Max argue? Like, honestly, that's a fucking good fight for Max. I don't know if it would motivate him or what, but it's an interesting fucking fight. It really, really is. You know, and you'd have to really look at things, right? Are you gonna go with the size and the I don't want to say the length. I think Aljo might have a reach advantage. Max has some T-Rex arms, but
Max's reach is 69. I think Aljo's is 70, 71.
So okay, yeah, you know, Max might have the advantage there, but if you look at it, or no, not Max, Aljo. But if you look at it, it's a very interesting matchup, and you have to really ask yourself who wins. You know, it's not as easy as the bigger guy wins. I think Aljo has a chance there. But let me read this. Oh, this is hilarious. Honestly, straight up, I think TKZ would probably beat Aljo. Even if TKZ was fighting Sterling tomorrow instead of Max, I think he'd win. Hey man, there's a fair point there, bro. I
think TKZ's prime would have been a bad matchup for him. Not now though.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, maybe, but I mean, he can grapple and he hits hard, so that those might be a little bad situations for Aljo Lame in that situation, but yeah, man, honestly, all of this, all this we're talking about, I really hope it does happen, but the direction where it's looking like this fucking these 2 clowns and Aljo Lame and Marab are looking like they're gonna stay at 135 and they're fighting for a spot. You know what I'm saying? It's looking like we could be talking about Max versus Aljo, right? But that could never fucking happen. And Aljo might stay at 135. You know what I'm saying? And it becomes a bit of a fight between these 2. And it's so stupid. You know?
That hurts me as well, bro, because I think the UFC know they'll hurt 2 divisions if they let Aljo fight at 135 because they no longer have a new contender coming up to 145. And they're going to keep 135 still because obviously they can't make any more new matchups because he's still going to be there.
Yeah.
So I just think, and they're also, like I said, if you get rid of Aljamain Sterling from the 135 picture, we've got Marab, who's a new contender for the belt because he'll finally get a chance to fight for the belt. And you've also got Cheeto fighting him in December. And you've also got Corey to wait from surgery, right? And you're also going to have potentially, I think we'll probably see a Peter Yan Rob Font kind of matchup just because of the way the trajectory has been between the 2 guys recently. So I think we've got potentially 3 title fights lined up, and we've got Cejudo in the mix, Yan yet to fight, and we've got Rob Font, who's been on a relatively decent run recently. So we do have guys at 135. It's just that I just think, I think the UFC. You know what? I've just said it earlier. Like I think if Aljo's adamant he stays at 135, they'll go right. We'll fight Umar then. If you really want a title shot, beat him and then talk to us.
Yeah.
I think they'll do that to him because they'll be like, look, you said you were done at 135. You've got no bargaining power. You can't fight for your belt. They're gonna argue it wasn't a compelling fight. That's what they got. That's what the argument's always gonna be, and that's fair enough. So,
and to be honest with you, man, it's really a Jose Aldo situation. Unless O'Malley like moves up or gets out of the way, I don't see him fighting for a 135 belt in the anytime in the near future. And also you have to think about Aljo's 34. He's not young. He's 34 years old. So age is ticking on him, you know.
Bro, this is the thing though. Like, as much as I thought I'd disagree with you, I think we're very much on the same page this stream. Like, it's just, me and you are looking at both divisions in the same way.
I mean, no, it's just logical. I mean, the guy has to move up. It's not about like friendship or this or that. It's just the fairness and the competitiveness of the rankings, and it just makes logical sense. That's it. It's what it comes down to, you know.
Yeah. Well, the UFC love money, right? Aljo isn't gonna make him any money at 135. If anything, he's more likely to make him money at 145.
Yeah.
Because like I said earlier, he gives us new stylistic matchups. Like we've never seen him against a guy like Ortega. We've not, have we? Not really. Can you name a guy like what at 135 that's like Ortega? I can't.
Nobody. You know, so
like we've got boxer guys like Max, but it's interesting to see how we get to see someone kind of like the Yarn fight, someone push at him for fucking 5 rounds, especially like what Yarn did to him in the first fight. We're gonna see, right, has Aljo actually evolved? How does he respond to Max?
Yeah.
So, you know, there's so many things there, bro. And like I said, bro, like I think I started to watch some footage back on Superior. I started to watch some footage back on Volk. It's making me look at that division, and I'm like, I think we're gonna see some new blood in that division. We're finally gonna be rid of the Volk and Max era.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you know, some people might call me crazy. I really do think Ilya is gonna knock him out. I love Volk. You guys know I'm a big Volk guy, but I do think Ilya.
I watched the Mendes fight the other day, you know, and I took a lot.
Exactly. That's my main reason. What does Ilya Topuria look like? He looks like Chad Mendes. What has he proven? He has cardio. He's basically a better version of Chad Mendes, and he's like an older version of Volk.
It's like Chad Mendes is the fucking Squirtle, and Ilya Topuria is the fucking Blastoise.
Yeah. All right. Chad Mendes needed to crawl so Ilya Topuria could fucking walk. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
bro. I don't remember if I mentioned this in the last stream, but bro, UFC could have 2 Georgian champions, 135 and 145, and they can bring. Obviously, I don't think they think the Georgian market is that big, but it's like you could bring 2 Georgian champions to Abu Dhabi next year in October if you play it fucking right. So don't fuck this up.
I know, dude. It's insane, bro. But also, but speaking, you know, we're speaking so much about Aljo and the direction of him and Merab and all that, but we haven't really spoken of the direction of where O'Malley goes. I think the UFC had just hit the jackpot, you know? I think there's a legitimate chance we could see Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen. That's a fucking phenomenal fight. Obviously, we're going to see the Cheeto rematch, and I kind of want to ask you, what do you think about that?
It's so hard, because I'm going to sound like a fucking flip-flop now, but I'll be honest with you, in the last year, I've really seen so many improvements from O'Malley, and I tried not to see them. Yeah. But this is what I was talking about a few streams ago, where sometimes you can't let your distaste towards a fighter because you like another fighter more kind of cloud your judgment. And I saw it in a Yarn fight, but I refused to point it. Like I was like, oh fuck. But I was like, yeah, but he fucking lost that fight. But I was like, no, he did some very good things in that fight that people didn't pick up on.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, bro. Given how slow Cheetos always is in fights, I know people say he's always got a chance. He's always got a chance. And yes, he does, bro. Them Hispanics are fucking tough as nails, isn't it? You know how my thoughts on Hispanic fighters in general. But I just think, bro, Chris Martino's him.
Yeah, I think so too. But O'Malley does have to play this smart, because I don't think he knocks out Cheeto. I think Cheeto's he's going to be really durable in that fight.
But you
So if
just stick your
O'Malley,
jab in his face and your lateral movement,
yeah,
and I think that's money for him.
yeah,
Like people are going to
O'Malley,
talk about the kicks, and they're going to be like, "Oh, that lead kick like he did to Cruz." I'll be honest, bro. I don't think O'Malley's that much of a schmuck to get caught with something like that. No offense to Cruz, but
yeah, okay, all right.
no, I didn't mean it like that. But I think O'Malley just doesn't get caught with stuff like that. I think O'Malley will know that Cheeto's game's a bit like that. I'm
Yeah,
sure Cruz knew that, but I think not to sound like a prick, but Cruz. You know he comes across as pretentious, and he was like, "Look, I'm 4 rounds up. I don't need to do it. Like I can coast." Cruz is
yeah,
that kind of guy. We've seen like people here, schmucks here can't talk. Like 10 years ago, Cruz would be 3 rounds up and wouldn't coast the last 2 rounds. He's been like that, which is why
yeah,
it didn't surprise anyone when fucking Cody Garbrandt beat him. Not really,
yeah.
but he
I
is that
mean,
kind of person.
yeah, no, I agree. Um, that Cruz fight that still pains me to this day because he just
You should have
he
gone
looks
to that.
he looked good, but it's just he was old. He really was old, and this game is very cruel. That's one thing about this game, man. It's so cruel. It doesn't matter how good you were. It doesn't matter if you were the GOAT. When your time is up, your
Yeah.
time is up. You
Yeah,
know?
for real, man. It's worse than the Munchkin divisions as well, bro. In the heavier weight classes, you can fight till like 40. Like, look at Glover, he
Yeah.
won the belt at like 42. But it's like in those weight classes, your experience and the last thing to go is your power. But once you lose your speed and your reflexes, if you're not careful, you're
Over.
getting put out in a round. Look what happened to Ronnie Barcelos.
I know it's so crazy, man. We were talking about Ronnie Barcelos just 2 years ago. Just 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
18 months ago, we said he was a dark horse.
Yeah, it's so nuts. It's so crazy. Now he's getting beat by Kyle Phillips. What's that guy? Victor Henry. It's Umar. Just back to back to back. And it is what it is at the end of the day. But I think with Sean O'Malley though and Cheeto, I think it can be dangerous in some areas, but imagine if Cheeto never fought Corey Sandhagen, how big this fight could be though. If he never would
Yeah,
have taken Corey Sandhagen fight, if he just would have waited.
yeah, but I think then yeah, I know, but I don't think that was necessarily his fault because I didn't think.
Yeah, well, he had no choice. But could you imagine this fight could be humongous? And the problem is, I don't think anyone could argue it if he would have waited, if he would have just chilled out, right, for a little bit, been put on ice. Him versus
Yeah,
Cheeto was humongous.
to be honest though, like we've all said it's a big fight, but none of us have like I don't know if you use a word like gas in America, but none of us have blown it up. The reason why is because yeah, he beat Pedro in the end, and he kind of had a strong finish towards the end. But it's like the performance was a bit like underwhelming, especially when you see what O'Malley went to do straight after. Right? Am I right in
Yeah,
saying that?
that's true. I mean, yeah, and that's okay. All right. Do you remember when Cheeto was coming off the Cruz win and O'Malley was coming off the Yan win? That fight had fucking heat, bro. It really did. People were like, "Oh
Yeah,
my god, there's it was kind. We were joking around, but was a legit possibility, and now we're in a reality where it's coming. But like, there was a possibility that O'Malley versus Cheeto was gonna happen, and it was big. But now, because we saw what Cheeto looked like against fucking Corey Sandhagen, and we've seen what O'Malley's done, we kind of got our answer on who's gonna probably win the rematch. But it's just crazy how things can, like, just how if someone
yeah.
just takes a fight, it kind
I
of changes
agree
the
with you.
direction. Yeah,
Do you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of remember Marty and Colby when Woodley held the belt. No one really
yeah,
talked about Leon, and RDA came in the mix, and who else? I think Darren Till jumped the queue and fought Woodley for the belt. But then
yeah,
obviously Usman and Colby kept winning, and we were like, oh my god, these two are the guys. I don't care what anybody says. Those two were looked at the guys at the time, so nobody could say that I'm making this up. They were looked at. You would agree with me as well.
yeah. Of
Those two
course, yeah,
were looked at as the guys at the time. Ponzinibbio as well, but Ponzinibbio was on a run, and then the momentum
yeah,
just got halted with the injuries. But
yeah,
I think that was after the Magny KO as well. He started to get looked at as a guy as well. But
yeah,
like we looked at those two, and it was like the All Americans. They both wrestled. They both got this intensity. They're both like varsity and all this shit. And it was like those two would look amazing. And then when Colby won the interim belt, some bollocks happened, and then that Woodley fight never happened. And then
Yeah.
Kamari fought Woodley for the belt, beat him, and then you got Colby as an interim champ. And then I know me and you was watering that. Our mouths were watering with, oh my god, we've got the two up and coming guys. These two are the guys that are going to run welterweight. And then I think you can agree for the next 3 years, we all looked at them as the two best welterweight guys on the planet.
And you know what's crazy? When they did the fucking execution of Tyron Woodley and Colby Covington, it was I mean, that fight, I'm happy we saw it, but that was such a letdown. You could have had a phenomenal welterweight title fight. Colby Covington, Tyron Woodley, the political aspect of it, the Trump supporting and the Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? That would have been humongous.
Let's not go down that angle. Fuck it. That's not what I was thinking.
No, I'm just saying, like, dude, that would have been huge. Like, in terms of a big fight, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And my guy Colby, man, oh my, they fucking stole that from him. Imagine that moment, the interim champion, Colby fucking Covington, slays, destroys Tyron Woodley for the welterweight title of the world. Oh my God.
People are gonna get confused when I say this, and I think because Usman won the belt and he was so boring, not to be a prick, but he was when he won the belt.
Yeah.
And then Colby fought him. I think that fight would have been even bigger if Colby beat Woodley, talked shit on the mic, and then fought Kamaru Usman with Colby as the champion. Does that make sense? If Colby Usman won was the fight, but Colby was the champion, had it beat Woodley and then got on the mic, I think that fight would have been even bigger than.
It would have been fucking epic. You know what I'm saying? So it makes parallels to the O'Malley situation where it's like, okay, we're gonna get the fight. I'm happy we're getting the fight, but man, what could have been?
We're seeing that a lot, though, aren't we? We're seeing fights getting booked a lot later than they should be. Like realistically, we should have seen Stipe and John Jones like last November,
dude.
Yeah, we should have seen that fight a year ago.
Man, like, bro, like, who are you telling? And it's crazy, man. O'Malley and Cheeto will still be huge. It doesn't matter if Sandhagen beat him. Sandhagen boring last fight gave people a sour taste. People still like Cheeto. Yeah.
Can we not dog Sandhagen though for having a boring fight though? Like, is he not allowed to have a boring fight? Like,
that's true.
Like, let's be real. In the last 18 months, I've seen a flying knee. I've sseen an entertaining fight against TJ where he nearly fucking reverse triangled the schmuck. We've seen one of the best 135 like title fights ever in him versus Peter Yan for an interim fight. I don't know if you would agree with that, but I thought it was a great fight.
I loved it. Yeah, it was a good fight.
And then we've seen him do what he did to Cheeto, and Cheeto's had like fucking 40 fights. I've never seen nobody do that to him. Like Cheeto loses split decisions all the time.
That was a great performance.
And then obviously what he did to Rob Font, it's like, I'm sorry, right, but like we praise wrestlers for doing it, but it's like you guys have 6 to 8 weeks here to prepare and devise a game plan to beat your opponent. If you look clueless in there and you have no solution, that's on you. You can't moan at him. And it's like, I'm sorry, right, but like people are going to think this is offensive, but like if Corey Sandhagen had Nurmagomedov as a name, people would have loved that performance against Rob Font. If Umar did Rob Font what Corey Sandhagen did, people would be talking up that performance for the next fucking 2 years.
Yeah, look at this guy, Devin. All right, whatever. Most fans are casuals like eBay, so one boring fight changes their perspective. O'Malley versus Vera, 2 draws. The casual fan and a lot of them. But here's the thing.
I agree with Devin. I think obviously, but I don't think that kills Corey's hype. I think he's looked sensational since obviously the Yan fight and the Aljo fights. I don't think he's looked shit in any of these fights. I think the Aljo fight was disappointing, but I think in the Yan fight he looked relatively okay until Yan pulled away.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I think he's on the best run of his career. You remember when he lost to Aljo, he had those 2 big knockouts, the Frankie one and the Marlon Rice one, and people were like, "Oh my God, Sandhagen this, Sandhagen that." And I was kind of annoyed, but I was a bit of a, I called him hippie boy. I was a bit of a Corey Sandhagen hater, but when he beat Song Yudong, I saw something. I really did. I saw a legitimate improvement, and I know some people might not like it, but this run, Song versus him beating Song Yudong, Vera, and then Rob Font. 3 straight fights. I've been more impressed in those 3 fights than whatever he did against Marlon Rice or Frankie, right? Because not only for Sean O'Malley, if he would have fought Corey Sandhagen in 2021 or 2020, I think Sean has a legitimate chance of winning that fight. But now because Corey has wrestling in his back pocket, he has more weapons in his toolbox. I think that's a very hard fight for Sean O'Malley. I really,
I'm
really do.
I'm trying to think if there was ever a fight where someone picked up a new trick and then went into it like the second time or whatever, and or a fresh matchup and it looked different. The only
I've never seen anyone make this much of an improvement to their game.
would you say Usman? Would you say Usman Colby too? Because Usman learned how to box a bit more, and you can see Colby's hesitance and his slow start.
But it became his deficiency. You know what I'm saying? That became his Achilles heel, because here's the thing, his aspect of learning how to strike, or whatever you want to call it, he lost one of his greatest skills.
Oh God, look, we're not gonna flame him, are we?
Of what?
No, because you said him learning what you call striking, bro. We always seem to play Usman in these streams, man. I don't want to do it.
No, I like that. No, we like the guy. But no, what I'm saying, to be honest, though, it fucking killed him at the end. It really did. You see that guy? Well, I want to rewatch the Leon Usman 3 fight, and maybe I might be remembering it wrong. But his wrestling looked so good, and he tried to wrestle. He really tried to wrestle in that third fight, and he just couldn't get the takedowns. So that became his problem. And you know what I'm saying? Like, what Corey has done is he hasn't lost to striking. I don't think. I know, he didn't strike that much against Font, and he was injured. But when he fought against Cheeto, he did everything in that fight. That fight was beautiful. He had rounds where he was on top for 5 minutes, and then he had rounds where he was outstriking him, and it just was a masterclass. It was a fucking symphony in MMA. That's what you fucking do. It hasn't become his deficiency. It hasn't become his problem. So, hey,
I understand that. Yeah, I understand that. I also think Corey's fucking durable as well. So anybody talks about, well, if Corey level changes, O'Malley can hit him with a knee or an uppercut. I don't know, bro. Like, from me watching Corey for fucking God knows how long, I've never seen that guy get put out with one shot.
Prime Barao or Prime Sterling?
Sterling beat Barao, did he not? We can't say he was washed because he lost to TJ back to back. He was
know what? I never was a Barao guy. I just was. You know what it was? I was just ashamed that Faber lost twice to that cat. I'll never understand that. But
what it was though. At the time, Cruz was never reliable as a bantamweight champion. They needed this guy to be the guy, innit? Because he went on that 30. I think he went on like a 30 fight win streak or something done. But it was like a Khabib resume. It really was.
And I will never forgive Barao for he made TJ Dillashaw. Without Barao fucking getting humiliated like that for 5 straight rounds, that was fucking.
Did he not get knocked out twice though? I remember him getting knocked out twice.
Dude. Okay, so here's the thing. This is why everyone loves fucking TJ Dillashaw. That performance against Barao, dude, he was stiff. I mean, he was a Jose Aldo wannabe, but he was stiff like a motherfucker, and he made TJ Dillashaw look like Jesus on fucking ice skates. He was touching him everywhere at every angle, and everyone thought TJ was a OP power god, next bantamweight GOAT. Bro, I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck what no one says. Prime Cruz would have beat Barao, and I will argue that with any of you motherfuckers, okay? All right? That dude, he made money because the real GOAT was on the shelf. Just saying, but whatever.
He was the definition of a glorified interim champ. Like, even though he was the guy, I never thought he was the GOAT when he was the guy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like, I never forget. People were dude, Browse had so much. He's undefeated in 30 years and this and that. Man. Whatever, man. Go kiss the wall, bro. He's lucky Cruz got hurt, bro. Like, man, but yeah, I mean, but back to like Sean, I think so. Sean, I think he beats Cheeto, and then the next title fight is gonna be a tough one. I think that first title, that second title defense, it's gonna be a tough one. You either got Merab Cejudo or Corey Sandhagen, and I think he can potentially lose all three of those. So
yeah, I can't see. I think because I've looked at the candidates in my head, right? I thought, right, it won't be Corey because Corey's sitting out for a while. I can't see it be Cejudo without having to fight someone first.
Yeah.
So for me, the contenders got narrowed down to Merab. For me, I think Merab's next, but I think he wants to fight at December because I think he thinks Volkan Ilya's fighting in December, and I think he's got his eyes on fighting Ilya if Ilya wins because he's adamantly said I don't want to fight Volk. I think he knows Volk would smoke him. That's why he said it. But I can't remember. I think that's what he said. He said something along those lines. But he came out to Stephen A. Smith and he said something like, "Oh, I either want to box Gervonta Davis or I want to fight at 145." It was like he completely dismissed the entire division. It's like you're the champion. You're the champion. You're supposed to be selling and making these fights compelling at 135. And you've just completely shut on the division. Like you're not even you've beat number 1 and you've beat number 5, and now you want to fight number 6 when you've got number 3 and number 2, but you don't want nothing to do with those fights. Okay, like that doesn't make you look like a good champion. And like people, you might get the UFC paid and all the rest of it, but it's like to the rest of the fan base, it'll get to a point where you start looking like a Walmart Connor. And
I know.
What's going to happen is though. Umar's popularity is going to build up and up because they're going to look at him as the guy who's like anti-establishment. The UFC don't like him. O'Malley's Dana White privilege. Let's have Umar get a fight. Stop ducking him. Stop ducking Umar. All the rest of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I'm already seeing it. I'm already seeing the Khabib and Conor parallels right there. I'm already seeing it.
And you know what they're going to do, bro? Like, I think I don't know how long Umar's injury is or how extensive it is, but if Umar fights in November, December, and then gets a fight I think if he fights November, February, then sits out fight in October, we can get an Umar O'Malley Abu Dhabi pay-per-view next year.
Woomwrecker, my dog Woomwrecker. I was waiting for him, man.
Honestly, bro, the division there's a lot of stuff in there though. To be honest, I just hope the UFC play it right. They've also got Son Yudong. They're keen on the China market as well. They're going to reschedule that fight with Rob Font. If he beats Rob Font, he might get another crack at a top 5 guy.
You know what I do think they're going to do? I'm going to tell you this. This is speaking of Song Yudong. I'm willing to put it all on the line, Ed. I'm putting it all on the line. Let's fucking do this. Song Yudong is him. If Song Yudong wants to be in the top 5, let's fucking go. Let's see who's the real best boxer, baby, in the UFC at 135. Song Yudong versus Peter Yan, baby. Winner takes all. Future versus present. Let's fucking go. I want to do it. Let's run it. Abu Dhabi. It's right around the corner. Let's fucking make it.
They've already. The thing is, though, they've already put up the slots for the main card.
Yeah.
Is it feasible for him to fight on the September pay-per-view because of the region? It's in Australasia, so it's not too far of a travel for either fighter.
Song really kills Yan like he. First of all right, motherfucker. So Yan will get it back in fucking blood, and he will teach that boy true boxing, bro. And he will smash him. All right, he will smash him.
I like it though, but for me, like. I like your thinking. For me, it's just like I've just seen Son Yudong lose to Corey Sandhagen, and I'm like, let's give him someone a bit further down before we get him to a fight like that.
He needs to pay for what he did to my dog.
And I think Rob Font is a perfect fight. I think Rob Font's a perfect fight for Son Yudong because we've just seen Rob Font get a crack at a top 5 guy, and we've seen him fall short. We've seen Son Yudong also take a crack at a top 5 guy. He's also fallen short. I think those two fights make sense. One of those schmucks fight Dom Cruz, but I got a feeling they've got that guy lubed up for Figueiredo.
Yeah, I think Cruz is fighting. I remember that there was a report that came. I don't know whatever happened with that fight, but I thought Figgy was gonna fight Cruz. So
I've been hearing that for a while, man. But we'll see, innit? So it's just, and also we got like obviously Ricky Simon. It's been a while since he fought, and obviously we're gonna wait for him to fight someone. Jonathan Martinez is booked with Yanez.
Yeah.
Even Umar, bro. Like I wouldn't be upset if Umar fought Cruz. It's only 2 spots higher up the rankings. You have him fighting like some California fight night at the back end of the year.
Yeah.
And like I said, it works with the O'Malley scheduling as well, because if O'Malley's planning to fight in December, O'Malley fights in the December pay-per-view, and then you can get Umar Nurmagomedov versus Dominic Cruz, like UFC Fight Night Sacramento or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, no. Man, you see this cat? Figgy versus Cruz main event fight night in New Jersey. Hell no. Fuck New Jersey. I want to run back in San Jose. Fuck that. Or no, San Diego. Let's run it back. We didn't do our thing last year in San Diego. That was shameful because eBay Fight Predictions wasn't there live to support his boy Cruz. That's the only reason Cheeto won, is because Cruz does not have the presence of eBay Fight Predictions.
You know what you need to do at this Cruz fight, yeah? I need you to fucking vlog it for 1, and 2. If
I will. I will.
You know what you need to do, bro? I'll do it as well, yeah. But you gotta put your hand in the air like you do. You know, you're sharing your energy like Cruz is gonna hit the schmuck with a spirit bomb. We gotta share our energy.
Listen, bro. All right, Devin. He's not getting chinned. That was fluke city that day. And I promise you, Cruz ain't losing if I'm there. All right, if I'm there, hey, you remember the guy that beat TJ Dillashaw? He's coming back, baby. Figueiredo, you're a goddamn chump flyweight. You will not take down Dominic Cruz. You will not knock him out. We coming, baby. We'll teach you how to jab, and we'll teach you that footwork. Bring it on. Let's come to San Diego. Let's keep this in California. Fuck that.
Do you know me though? Like I said, I like the Umar Cruz fight because it gives him some credibility if he gets a win over a former champ.
Yeah.
But also, because obviously Pedro Munoz just fought. I know they'll want to do a Brazil card, and they're never opposed to having Brazil versus Brazil in it. So Munoz and Figueiredo fighting. That, like, Pedro's tough as nails, but like, again, think about it like this, because we're talking about bringing new chips into play, right? So like, if Figueiredo finishes a guy like Pedro Munoz, who's never been finished in over 30 pro fights, he makes a statement in his first fight at 135, right?
Yeah.
And Figgy's like 34, 35 as well, so he's not getting any younger either.
Yeah.
You fight a drunk, okay. Wow.
No, I swear to God, listen to this. If I see fucking Cruz get smoked by Figueiredo, I don't care. Even if I get smoked with Cruz and we both get smoked, we're both getting smoked. But listen to this. I will probably start a fucking fight. If I see that motherfucker lose and I see some fucking Figueiredo fanboy pouncing around like this and that, man, it's on. Like
the miniature God of War. I'm telling you, bro, you got to hit an RKO out of nowhere before he's about to go for the finish.
Yeah, man, bro. Fucking.
But yeah, like I said, bro, you got to get the spirit bomb, give Cruz your energy before the fight, get it on camera, put your hand up and all the rest of it. Yes, I'll do it as well. I'll put both my arms up. I'll give Cruz all my energy. Yeah. And then it's a schmuck with a spirit bomb.
Bro, Dominic Cruz's last stand in San Diego with eBay. I got to get the tickets, bro. That's one thing. I'm kind of happy I didn't see that Cheeto fight to a certain degree. Because, the one fucking card I went to in Sacramento, fucking Aspelan versus Jermaine Durandamine, and I had to see fucking Uriah Faber knock out Ricky Simon. I fucking hate that day, and I'll never fucking forget that shit.
Did you say Aspen Ladd? Was that the one she got knocked out in 5 seconds?
Yeah, that was. I mean, it was a good card. I saw Josh Emmett fight. I saw Darren Elkins fight. I remember saw a lot of the alpha male guys fight that day.
Shout out Darren Elkins, by the way.
Yeah. But now I want to see fucking I'd love to see fucking Cruz compete if I get an opportunity. I regretted not going to the fucking Ngannou Sorogan one. Where was that? That was in somewhere in California. I forgot where that was at in California. That was one I fucking.
I was in Cali. I don't even remember where it was based.
I think Kaz went to that one.
Yeah, he tends to fight in Vegas, isn't it? That's why I'm a bit surprised you said that.
Yeah. Where was that fucking at? I forgot. That was the same place where Jones actually Anaheim. Yeah, dude, Anaheim's fucking a cursed clown place. This is where John Jones had knocked out DC.
Honda Center. Where the fuck's the Honda Center? Anaheim, yeah.
Is Davison Cruz? No, it's not confirmed. Cruz is getting chinned in Brazil, laughing my ass. Fuck, what is it? Why What is that? Devin, do you not want me to go to fights? Is that what it is? You don't want fights near eBay, huh? You don't want him to go
he's
watch.
just saying if you're gonna go, don't go and watch Cruz, bro. You're gonna get disappointed. They always say they're gonna be heroes, isn't it?
Yeah, that is. But no, because I do want to go watch an event. You know, I do want to go to an event, like at least at least a pay-per-view or something. I do really want to go. I'm happy I've seen one. I've seen it once, but I'm looking again.
Make the most of it, bro. You're lucky to go to these, to have like obviously the opportunity to go. We get like one event a year, and they tried to charge me 600 for Leon Usman 3, and that fucking card.
How much
card is
like
600.
Wow.
For a standard seat, bro. They weren't even that great. Where you'd still be staring at the monitor, and it's like, if I want to stare at a monitor, I'll just watch it at home, kind of thing. I would have gone. I had the money. The money wasn't the issue, but it's the other expenses that you add on top. I would have spent like over $1,000.
Yeah.
I would have spent like 1.5 G's just on like just to be out there for 2 days, because it's in London as well. I don't live in London, so
yeah.
Between obviously my train tickets and the travel and the food and the hotels and all that shit, and then the cost of the fight and all the other expenses as well, bro, because London is fucking crazy, man, to get from A to B. It's just, I'll be honest, bro, like, this is what annoys me on it, like, because he got the KO in the second fight and then got the decision in the third fight. I feel like if he'd won the bout by decision, the hype would have been there for the third fight, so I would have got the tickets for like £60.
Dude, imagine if you were there for the third fight, right? And Usman's dominating, right? And then he gets the big KO in the fifth round. It's dude, I'll never, that moment in Utah, like there's nothing like that. Like I've never just felt like I've seen like big wins, right? You know, I that's one thing fucking this punk ass job robbed the YouTube channel, was that reaction to me seeing Leon beat Usman and slaying the beast, because Usman had developed an aura about him. He, you know, next GSP, next go to welterweight, undefeated, not undefeated, but undeniable.
I think he would have tied Anderson Silva's record for 16 straight wins as
well. Everything was there, and just him landing that beautiful head kick, and then John Anik saying that is not. Hey, what did he say? I forgot.
That's not the club from which he's like.
Oh my god, that was a classic, bro! And he fucking lands that head kick. Oh my god, it's the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest.
Bro, it annoyed me, man, because DC's his boy as well. And he's like, oh, I think he's resided himself to losing here and all this shit. And I'm like, whoa. And then
that would have been fucking.
Okay, that card is perfect for a Figgy Munoz fight, because. Yeah. It's literally, what is it, 12, 13 weeks out, whatever the fuck. So it's just like Pedro Munoz can turn around in 12 weeks. I think because he doesn't make a big cut anyways.
Yeah, I remember the Leon KO was on my birthday. Talk about a birthday present, and the O'Malley KO was the day before my birthday too. Oh man, Woolmerker's just we gotta make sure we're on the Woolmerker side at like in August, bro. We gotta make sure.
Utah's give, bro. Uncle Dana never ever stopped going to Utah. It's giving me some great moments. I also saw Dustin Poirier get hit with a people's elbow as well, bro. Like, that was fucking crazy. Dust chin, bro. I'm so tired of hearing about that dickhead being the unofficial lightweight champ and all this bollocks.
Oh man, that's over now. You don't hear that no more. They stopped that talk real quick.
He's the only dude to cry after winning a fucking fight, bro. It's like, bro, stop complaining, bro. You won the fight, shake his hand and move on, bro. Like, he was always a dickhead in certain fights, man. It's just, I don't know, bro. He's one of those guys where it's like he's nice, but he's also a dickhead as well. Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
I'm not gonna lie. Like, it took me a minute to be a Dustin Poirier hater, but it just became undeniable. After the Chandler fight, I was like, all right, this guy, something wrong with him.
I forgot what fight he was in the build up to, bro. But he knocked out some amateur in sparring. And he starts putting his arms up and saying, "And you." It's like, bro, that guy's probably taken 2 kickboxing lessons in his life, and you're sat there doing that, bro. Like, what the fuck, like. And people shouting Sean Strickland doing the same thing. It's like, okay, but because it's Dustin Poirier, it's okay if he does it. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. I mean, thank God. Real talk. Justin Gaethje got it back in blood, bro. If I haven't seen that, like, that is the true definition of getting it back. And He got him good, man. That was so fucking beautiful. And
He got him really good, bro. I was fucking happy with that fight.
man, because you know
I, yeah, I bigged him up. We did a fight night after. We did a fight talk after that, bro. I bigged him up after that. I'm not slandering him anymore, especially
oh
if he
no,
knocks out as well. I would
and you
never
know
shit.
also another thing was, dude, that was a fight that a lot of people used against Justin Gaethje to slander him. You know, Dustin Poirier owns you, Dustin's son. You're a Dustin chump. Da 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 da. He got that one out of the way, man. That's something you got. I gotta respect that. You know, he finally kind of like got out of that shadow of that Dustin Poirier fight. You know, for 5 years, you know, they've used that against him, and now he's like, yeah. We keep fucking say now. You know. So, Spawn KOs the evil Anthony Smith.
Oh,
Oh man,
bro. Well, you know what it is, yeah. You've already put Anthony Smith in a pack watch video, and you don't do pack watch videos on a freaking fight night. So I better not see one on Monday.
I'm doing it again. No, okay. Here's the condition. Okay. I swear to God, Ed. Here's the condition. If Anthony Smith gets knocked out and Max Holloway gets knocked out, I'm doing a fucking pack watch. You cannot expect me not to do a pack watch if both
You
those
say
guys.
and Max Holloway gets knocked out.
It has to be Max Holloway getting knocked out, stone cold. Those that's the rule. If it doesn't happen, then okay, I won't make one. He got his one after Johnny Walker lost, but he's asking for it. Did you hear this motherfucker? Oh, Alex Pierre didn't look that good. He saw the power of a real light heavyweight. I'd like to fight Alex Pierre. Who the fuck are you?
Was I not saying in the group chat though? As much as I like him, he doesn't help himself. I was saying that earlier.
He's such an idiot. He's a dummy.
I'm like, in my opinion, right? Like this is how I look at it. Alex Pereira spent the best part of 2 decades fighting the deadliest kickboxers on fucking God's green earth. Yeah. But you're telling me he's scared of fighting guys at 205 because he felt power, and it's like, okay, it's just like, I don't know, bro. It's hard for me to defend him sometimes. It's just like he says stuff like that, and it's like you realize Alex didn't start off this game sniffing crotch and lying on his back like a 3 or 4 with his legs spread, saying, "Come in my guard." Those are the most soy fucking mixed martial arts in the world. He started off fucking kickboxing and he started fighting the guys with the deadliest weapons on God's green earth, bro. Like, and we're talking about this guy all of a sudden scared of light heavyweights. He's not scared of light heavyweights. It's just like, I don't know why he decided to start his career at middleweight, but I'm guessing that everyone's saying that he saw an interview of Izzy flaming him when he wasn't even in mixed martial arts. So he said, fuck it, I'm going to get into MMA too, because MMA pays, unlike kickboxing. Which is weird to think about it, that MMA pays more than kickboxing. But yeah.
Well, kickboxing is such a weird, even in like America, like Muay Thai and stuff like that, it's such a like, it's a very tough sport, like Muay Thai, kickboxing, whatever. It's such a tough. I respect those guys because, you know, all they do it for the pride of just fighting. Like I know some guys that actually really, really do it, and there's no glory in it. It's almost like kind of like a little bit of wrestling, you know, like there is no glory winning. Like it's so weird to me that you have to go to MMA to really make some money. Even if you go to Glory, I know that they try to pay those guys, but it's not like, you know, it's so weird. And the thing is, you know, you'll hear so many guys talk about, I just want more striking in MMA. I don't know if it's the little gloves that make MMA really fun. Maybe that's what it is. But
you see brutal KOs in kickboxing. I'd argue they're more brutal than in MMA.
Yeah,
especially going through the fucking ropes. Going through the ropes is crazy.
Yeah, I know.
I've seen some guys flying out the fucking ring through the ropes. It's crazy. I've seen some crazy KOs, man. It's just like some kind of shit. But yeah, I agree with you. It's like I'll be watching, like you, because obviously you go to events as well, innit? But it's like I'll be watching and the crowd's booing the second it goes to the ground. It's like, bro, you're the same guys that wouldn't pay to watch a kickboxing fight. So why
they really don't. They don't.
Why the fuck are they doing, bro? It makes no sense to me. Like you as a customer, right, have paid to watch the mixed martial arts like event where you're gonna see jiu-jitsu, you're gonna see wrestling, you're gonna see striking, you're gonna see kickboxing, boxing, everything else. Depending on what fighter's skill set you're gonna see, but you're gonna see all of those things across the 12, 13 fights that you're gonna see during the night. Yeah. But then you're gonna boo when you see a bit of wrestling or a bit of clinching against the fence. Well, go watch a fucking kickboxing event then.
Yeah,
it makes no sense to me. If you want to see pure striking, go and watch a kickboxing event.
And you know what's crazy? Tell me when Alex Pierre and Adesanya were at their biggest in terms of their careers. Where were their
Uh,
biggest fights?
the
In
biggest
the
fights.
UFC. You know what I'm saying? Their
Yeah,
biggest fights were, you know what I'm saying? Isn't that wild? Like they were fighting kickboxing fights. They had 2 fights in kickboxing and they had 2 fights in MMA. And you know what I'm saying? Their last fight was humongous, was a big pay-per-view. And then the first fight was humongous, like the one in New York. And it's
yeah.
so crazy because and I understand it's the machine of the UFC, but it's wild. It's really wild.
I'm willing to bet though. I'm willing to bet because obviously when Israel Adesanya was on the rise, he was very high up and it held in
Yeah.
high regard by everyone. But before he started being a schmuck, someone did some digging, found the Alex Pereira KO, and then that fight clip blew up. I bet that fight clip. I guarantee you that fight clip, yeah, was like 10K views, and then it blew up overnight because
That
obviously
is true. That's
people
real.
wanted
You're
to,
right.
huh?
You know, you're right. You're right. That fight clip did help.
I guarantee, yeah, that clip was like I bet not many eyes were on that fight, yeah, until
Yeah.
obviously like even before Alex came to the UFC. I bet then that clip surfaced of Easy in the oxygen tank, especially when John Jones posted it. That was quite funny. And then, yeah, it was just and then that clip and then that fight and then people started to watch that fight and started to pay attention. But that fight wasn't big at the time. That fight became big because people wanted to use it as ammunition to shoot Izzy down with, it, especially after the Yoram Romero fight. But that's my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. They killed him.
I'm willing to bet if I'm able to look at the analytics of the video, I would not be surprised if the views on that video spiked after Izzy started getting hatred. Because I'm
Yeah.
willing to bet that that video had like 10, 20K views. I'm willing to bet.
I mean, yeah. It's kind of wild, like how that fight clip was uploaded when Izzy knocked out Brunson. Yeah, that's kind of when my
Exactly,
when
bro. This is when Izzy was on the rise, so people went and really paid attention to that fight.
that's exactly when my hatred started for Izzy. That fight specifically, right there, is when he became fucking mortal enemy number 1, and I have never looked back ever since.
I always thought he was cool though. I just didn't like him when he started fighting like a pussy and started talking all
Come
this dumb shit.
on, man. He fucking flipped the guy off and then he knocks him out. I was fucking and well, I like Brunson, but I was so sick that there
Yeah.
I've seen Brunson lose. The Cannonier one hurts. The Dricus Duplessis one didn't help. But that one right there was the most devastating loss in Brunson's career. Because not only did he fucking get knocked out, I had to see Bumson get fucking spammed for the last 2 weeks of my fucking life. So um dude, fucking and speaking of Israel Adesanya, we got to talk about UFC 293 and we got to shit on this garbage card, but they have announced something that we were talking about what they were going to do with the middleweight title. They have announced Sean Strickland versus Israel Adesanya. Is this the first time where the press conference will be more anticipated than the actual fight?
Yeah, but I also think, do you know what? Credit to you because you got the title picture right. Because I was convinced he was going to fight Hill for the fight for that belt at that event because
Yeah.
I was convinced that Dricus wasn't going to be able to turn around. So I thought Izzy would fight for a 205 belt. But then Hill got injured and
I mean,
kind of turned.
it was a possibility. It was a possibility that they were going to
Yeah.
go in that direction. I even heard that they might have even tried to do the Yuri and Alex Pereira fight if they couldn't get Adesanya on that card. With Sean Strickland, I guess having some visa issues, but they got it fixed and they got a main event for Australia.
I'll be honest, bro. I think if they couldn't get Sean Strickland on that fight, they would have just thrown it to Jared Cannonier. I personally think that's what they would have done. Because
Yeah,
I just think they just don't give a fuck. They're just going to fill the card up. Because that event sold out in like 12 minutes, by the way.
I
The
know, man,
ticket.
I did. They
Look how
might have.
shit the card is. But
I know it's
obviously,
horrible.
I don't blame them though because it's similar to the UK. You get one numbered event a year if you're lucky. It's like,
Yeah,
bro, I'm gonna buy it whilst I have the opportunity to go. It's like
yeah,
I'll be honest. In hindsight, I wish I'd gone to the Leon fight, but I can't do anything about it now.
yeah. We need a prayer video for Sean to win. I don't know. Honestly, like as much as it would be hilarious if Sean wins, I don't think he wins that fight. As much as I hate Adesanya,
Bro,
I
if
just don't.
Sean Strickland somehow fucking knocks out Izzy. We're doing a double pack watch, and I'll come on camera.
Yeah, you gotta buy a cigar. You gotta get a cigar. Yeah, and you gotta say, hey, I want the Adesanya pack, baby. All right, the specific Adesanya pack.
Bro, I don't know how you got away with that. Did she just say her when you said that?
Yeah, bro, it's so funny. Like, oh, can I, dude? I go to I'm thinking like, how is this gonna look like on the video? But I went and fucking did. I was like, hey, can I get the Aljo pack? And she was like, all right, I got you. And I was like, dude, this bitch don't even know who Aljo is. Like, and she said, but
Bro, I laughed so hard at it. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, that video was a funny watch, but it was hard. It was a hard watch at the same time because
I put a lot of effort into that one. That one was, I think, either that one. Some people say my Robert Whitaker pack watch. You know, it's the ones that I have to.
Yeah.
You have to wait. I have to
No,
wait
it
a
is,
long
though.
time.
I can't remember if the Robert Whitaker fight had this, but I don't know if you put the edit of your reaction to Drickus in it and saying you can call all of us, and then you went on that reaction. I was like, fucking hell. I still pissed myself laughing at that reaction, you know. It's just like,
Yeah, I know.
he's a real.
Yeah. Nah, bro. It's just that pack watch was. I waited so long, 3 long years for that. Yeah, paid in full, baby. That's all I gotta say. He does it like Abus. No, imagine if imagine if fucking Sean fucking smokes him though. Could you imagine that? The world we have to live in?
Oh man, it's just, bro, it's just gonna be, bro. Do you know what it is? Nothing's gonna make sense for me anymore. Like if we see like Sean Strickland, bro, you know UFC are gonna find some bullshit to fucking strip him for, innit? Because obviously, man, because you even saw it in the lead up to the Abus fight, man. He was saying some madness, you know. I'm just like, fuck, man, like I have no feel of it. It's like, oh Jesus, like you just. I know the UFC say freedom of speech, but they've obviously got a line with that shit, especially how the Conor Khabib lead up.
Dude, apparently, I mean, according to Izzy, they were like saying they didn't even want to give him the title shot because of that reason. They really didn't want to put him in a position. But I mean, here's the thing: he, as much as he talks a lot of shit and this and that. It kind of helps him because he is a. I mean, I give him his credit. He did finish Abus, but most of the time he's a jabbing, plotting kind of know nothing fighter. He needs that that's a part of his character, you know.
I'll be honest, bro. I'll be honest, because his fight style is so boring. People rather watch him talk for 2 hours than fight.
Yeah,
I guarantee you. There's a lot of people out there like that. And for me, the Izzy thing, because obviously me and you laughed about this on Twitter, and it's like, bro, Izzy, it was just the irony in the statement. He's going to embarrass the UFC or whatever. It's like, okay, so you wanking off dogs and kissing dogs and painting your nails and calling yourself the first Chinese, Kiwi, Nigerian champion of the world isn't fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like, obviously Sean says,
so proud of that.
But Sean ain't jacking off dogs, is he? Like,
bro, yo. Speaking of that, did you see Sean bring that to Joe Rogan?
Yeah. That was so funny.
Joe is such a clown. He's such a clown. He tried to ignore it and tried to act like it didn't happen. He tried to change the subject so hard, bro. Oh my God.
It's like editor of his, like, it took like 10 minutes to find the clip and he didn't even find it. And Sean pulls it up on his phone and starts toasting him.
Fucking that motherfucker. That's so crazy. They couldn't even hide it. But it's so stupid. Thoughts on Chimaev becoming undisputed 185 champion in 2024? I mean, he has a chance. There's a legitimate chance that we could see Chimaev actually become champion in this poverty fucking 185 division, you know. But there's a guy named Brenton Allen that's coming up, baby.
At what point though does Izzy just drop the belt and go up to 205 though? Because I'll be honest, bro. Like I'm not looking forward to the fight because I don't think that either of them are both interesting fighters to watch at the minute. I know he's KO and props to him, to Alex Pereira, but it's like Sean isn't a dance partner that brings that out of Izzy. He's not a Kelvin Gastelum, if that makes sense. And it's just like, either Sean's just going to walk forward and get that jab stuck at him and get fainted and calf kicked for 25 minutes. I'm sure Izzy can fucking knock him out, but it's just like, I'm like you, bro, because obviously, like you know how it's going to be tomorrow, and watching that fight, it's like you wake up and you're like, I've got to watch this, and it's like I've got to stay up till 5 to watch Adesanya calf kick for 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's gonna be very tough. I think here's my thing. Here's my opinion. I think Izzy's last fight at 185, and I know it's gonna be sad for some people because I do think there is some people that want to see Chimaev versus Adesanya. But here's my thing: I think his last fight will be Dricus Duplessis at 185. I think that's it, and then he's going up. I that's my prediction. I think after he beats Dricus, he's gonna go up to fight at light heavyweight, and I do think Alex Pereira will be your new light heavyweight champion after he knocks the fake fucking samurai. How perfect is that? I'm gonna get my fucking revenge on that motherfucker for beating Glover, and Glover's gonna be in the fucking corner when Alex Pereira lands the left hook from the gods, baby. Fucking stone hand, baby, on that motherfucker's chin, and it's gonna be perfect. I think that's what it's gonna be. So that's my prediction.
Yeah, I get you. There's a part of it that thinks out of spite because obviously Izzy fights in September and Chimaev fights in October. If Chimaev gets a finish over Costa, I wouldn't be surprised if they turned both fighters around and fought in February and left Dricus out in the dark, just out of spite, if anything.
Well, yeah, so, that's a possibility.
But if you're Izzy, bro, just fight Dricus. You don't want any of that Dagestan. You don't want any of that Chechen wrestling, bro. Just fucking fight Dricus. Put his lights out inside 2 rounds, then go up and fight Pereira. That's how I would play it.
And then so then if okay, and here's the thing. So let's say Dricus loses, right? To Izzy. Then who really okay, just for conversation's sake, because I'm not, I'm still 50-50 on the Costa Chimaev fight. But if let's say Chimaev beats Costa, who would Chimaev fight for the belt? Would it be Cannonier? Do you know how bad this division would be if we had to see?
Do you know what I'll say to you about that? It depends on what pay-per-view they want to put that fight on, because obviously it comes down to the markets, right? Yeah. So say, because they tend to do a pay-per-view around Australia in February, it wouldn't surprise me if it's Chimaev Whitaker in February, especially because Robert Whitaker just got knocked out in July.
Yeah.
So 7 months off is going to be all right for him to get back. And Chimaev will be turning around in 4 months, which isn't that bad of a turnaround. Especially because it's not, if he was fighting for a welterweight fight, it would be tricky because obviously he's big as fuck.
Yeah, but do you think they do? Okay, or even if they do, Robert Whitaker just got demasculated in front of the whole world. All right, do you think he's in any position to fight for a world title, even after DDP smokes him?
Probably not, but all you do Dricus and Chimaev in Vegas, right?
Maybe. No, I think they might actually fucking do. I really do think they might do Cannonier. Can you imagine how fucking weak that would be? All these situations are pretty weak. Can we be honest?
Yeah, they're all weak. I agree with you. The other thing I was going to say that makes it even worse, right? There's these rumors going around that because of this whole, I don't even know if I'll get your fucking thing demonetized. My bad. But you can cut this out, I'm sure. Or
I don't care. Fuck it. This is freedom of speech, man. America, baby.
Yeah, it's like because of the whole Khamzat chills with that Russian dictator guy. They're saying that Khamzat. There's this theory going around that Khamzat can't enter the US. That's why he's fighting in Abu Dhabi, and that's why he's sat out for a year. So that means if Khamzat can't fight in Vegas, Robert Whitaker's just been knocked out. Dricus Duplessis on a win. He's just got a win. Jared Cannonier's on a win. Marvin Vettori, I think he lost to Cannonier, right? Sean Strickland potentially would be coming off a loss to Izzy. Costa would be potentially coming off a loss to Chimaev. We're talking Dricus Cannonier in like Vegas.
Yeah. No, but like honestly, okay, Devin. All right, Devin, listen to this. All right, okay, whatever. Chimaev versus DDP. If they want to do for interim 185, whatever you're saying. But listen, fucking that would be an all-time low title fight for fucking weight 185. All right.
I think they'll call it an interim though, because
whatever they want to call it, that's still low, bro. We had people like Chris Weidman versus Luke Rockhold. All right, okay, we had fights like that. This fucking new age 185. Oh my fucking god, Brendan Allen, we need you. Brendan Allen, we need you, baby. Woo! This is looking bad. This is looking bad.
I'll be honest with you. I think you'll agree with me on this. They'll need if they want to shake up that division, they need Roman Dolidze and Brendan Allen to fight 2 of the top 5.
Yeah.
Because if one of them or both of them win, we get some new fresh faces in that top 6, top 7, and it gives us a lot more to play with.
Yeah. Allen
Like if you give us like an Allen Vittori kind of fight, and you give us like a Dolidze Cannonier kind of fight,
Dolidze's fighting Brunson. He's gonna fight Brunson, and
why have they got him fighting Brunson though? He just fought Vittori in March. I don't know why he would. It's just a step backwards though, but okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So he has that fight, but yeah, man, I think I don't know. 185 is looking fucking dude. When is it? I don't know. Like it's not looking good to me right now. You know,
Paul Craig for a title shot. Anyone?
Dude, he has a chance. There's a chance. There's a chance. I'm telling you.
I'll be honest, bro. We're going to be so desperate, right? That we've got to a point where if Kamzat beats Paulo Costa in any way, shape, or form, just get the W, people will want him to fight for the belt next. Because can we really blame people? We can say that like the privilege and all the rest of it, but it's like, bro, look at the names and look at what we just talked about for the past 10 minutes. Can we really blame people at this point? We're talking about Dricus and Cannonier fighting for potentially like an interim fight whilst Izzy goes and fights at 205.
Yeah, could you ever believe? Could you ever main event? I know Chimaev does have pay-per-view draw, so I get that part. But do you think, in your right mind, could you ever see Dricus Duplessis and fucking Cannonier main eventing with Chimaev on a pay-per-view? Either of them. Could you ever see that?
There's no backstory and there's no build-up or.
There's nothing. It's a nothing fight.
There's literally nothing to play with or work with.
Yeah.
There's no background. There's no. The only thing I can think of is, I think you put the 2 fresh contenders against each other. So best case scenario, you put Dricus and Kamzat, and then one of them fights Izzy, because I think win lose or draw against Alex, he either wins the second belt, or he comes back to 185 and fights a new contender at the back end of next year, anyways, which will be, and that would work for him because if he fights in the back end of 2024, Abu Dhabi will be in October anyways, so that works for Israel Adesanya. Yeah. But again, this is us assuming that everything goes to plan. And you know as well as I do, nothing goes to plan like it ever does. We've just seen Justin Gaethje fucking knock out Dustin Poirier, which a lot of people had Dustin as their favorite, and I've just seen Aljamain Sterling get fucking knocked out. You know as well as I do, MMA is not played on paper.
Yeah, no, it's not,
bro. Like there's Yuri, there's all these other guys, bro. There's so many moving pieces. Like not everything's gonna go like we logically think, because otherwise Robert Whittaker would have beaten Dricus Duplessis, but that's not what happened.
And I'm telling you, bro, 185, like it's gonna go through a real dark period. Like people thought 185 was bad right now. I'm telling you, what I see coming up is about to be a new dark age for that fucking division. Like, yeah. I think the biggest fight they can potentially make in the next few years, and they have to pray, is that Bo Nickel becomes a legitimate guy at 185. And I don't know, I love Bo. You know, Bo's my dog. He's a great wrestler, but he's shown some really good abilities, but it's a gamble, right? It is a gamble.
Honest, I think they'll rush him because of that.
Yeah,
I think they have to.
They have to. There's no choice.
And they have to rush guys like him and Joe Pyfer. Don't have those 2 guys fight each other. That's fucking stupid. Don't kill one of the prospects off. Because they did this when they had Miranda Maverick fight Macy Barber, and it was fucking stupid at the time. Yeah. Obviously, my girl won in it, so I'm happy with that.
Whatever, bro. Whatever.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, bro. Sometimes it makes no sense.
You're right.
Especially when you're in a thin division like that, and especially at flyweight.
Real talk, it killed Maverick's career. Maverick was never the same after that.
Yeah, and especially at 125, Valentina at the time was so short of contenders to a point we were saying, oh right, it got to a point where everybody was saying she needs to fight Nunes, no other fight's acceptable.
Yeah,
and we can't do that. We can't do that with. Let's face it, bro. Like Izzy likes to be active, and these guys need to show him something. As cringy as that sounds, they need to show him something. because at the moment the middleweight division isn't showing him anything. They need to give him a reason to keep him around. KG's just gone to 170, so they've just lost another guy. Not saying that he necessarily would have fought for the belt again, but they've lost another guy. Kevin Holland's gone to 170 as well. Joaquin Buckley's gone to 170. A lot of guys are saying, "Fuck this, bro. This is shit." Like it's just they want to have fun fights. They want to be entertained and all the rest of it. I'm just like, I don't care, bro. If they rush Bo Nickel and Joe Pyfer and whoever else they want to fucking rush, and even I don't think Petrosky's that good. But even if they rush him, I don't really care. I'm at a point where
Roman Kopylov is the new savior of the fucking 185 division. He might be the guy.
Yeah.
But no, but what I'm saying is the biggest fight I can see that 185 can do post Izzy is Bo Nickel versus Chimaev. That is a humongous fight. USA
That's a massive fight. There's that whole Cold War thing behind it. USA wrestling versus Russia wrestling, and bro, that fight. If they have that fight in, like they can't have it in America because I think what I said about the Chimaev theory I've got. If they have that fight in Abu Dhabi, that's a fight.
Yeah. But speaking of Abu Dhabi, we got a rematch coming off in UFC 294, and they're asking us who we're going to be picking, Olives or Islam. I think Islam beats him again. I do. I think it'll be longer. It'll take him a little longer to beat Oliveira. I think he'll probably go to the fourth round. I think it'll be a little more competitive, but
I don't. I think he's even. I think the fight will end in the first two rounds by either fighter. But I think, given the circumstances in which Oliveira is taking a fight, not saying that I'm making any excuses for him. I just think that he fought in May, but there's this rumor going around that he's fighting through an injury and he's going through camp with an injury and he might not be able to turn around and make weight and all this other shit. So,
biased eBay pick. What did I
do? We both picked fucking Charles Oliveira last year, though.
I picked Oliveira the last time. I'm just being.
Did we not have that fucking thumbnail of the horse and Islam's face and all the rest of it, bro? What the fuck, man?
I'm being based eBay, baby. Like, what are you? Alhamdulillah, baby.
Don't slander my boy, like Bubba Ray, leave on here, bro. We're hitting you with a fucking 3D, you schmuck. Yeah, bro. Tell him we'll put him through a table if he says something like that and slanders us again.
Thoughts on Guru accusing Merab of like, dude, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that video he did yesterday was fucking gold. Greatest video of the year. I watched it twice.
Bro, I'll be honest, I watched it and I was like, he hasn't said anything new though.
That is true. But
he just said the same thing he said this time. He said the same thing he said this time last year. I didn't hear anything that was like. I was just like, okay, cool. Like, but there's also that Vim in it because he beat Jan in it and Merab's rubbed everyone the wrong way, especially because he essentially retired Aldo, innit?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I agreed with his take. Obviously, like Merab needs to man up, fight for the belt, all the rest of it. But it's like O'Malley's going to fight Cheeto in December. That's what he plans to do. And then O'Malley won't probably turn around for another 3-4 months. So at least till April, he's not going to fight. It's fucking August now. We're talking 8 months. What do you want Merab to do? If he takes a fight on since then, that's like 2/3 of the year, 8 months. So we're saying, okay, either sit out for 2/3 of the year or take a fight and risk losing. But even then, bro, like O'Malley's gonna look at other options because when you're the champion, you kind of have certain things going your way, don't you? It's like obviously certain champs are the exemption, but it's like bro. Like it's like Izzy, bro. He kind of picked and choose when he wanted to fight at 205. Didn't want any of the smoke with John Jones was holding the belt. Jan's holding the belt. What? He's got 10 losses on his record. Oh, okay, let me fight him.
Yeah.
How did that work out for you?
It did not work out well. Oliveira beating Islam, then Topuria beating Volk, dude. Oh my, this has kind of been a crazy year for upsets, man. It's been a lot of crazy upsets.
We've seen a lot of championship. We've seen a lot of belt changes, though, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. And I don't know. That thing. Here's the thing: can Charles win? Yeah, I do think. Obviously, there's a lot more confident Charles last year to get the W, but I just don't. like the way he performed in that first fight. I get it; things can change. The first fight isn't always going to dictate the rematch, but uh,
I
I I just think Islam has his number. I just it's
yeah.
one of those things, you know.
I also think though, you know when I said to you sometimes wins can paper over performances or
Yeah,
cracks. I
yeah,
still think even though he beat Benil still took him down.
yeah, exactly.
And I'm just like, bro, like you haven't done anything to combat the issues or answered any questions. I know you can finish schmucks. I've seen you do it for a decade,
Yeah,
but I haven't seen you answer the questions that I wanted you to answer. It's like, bro, you still got taken down to the mat. And I still think Islam's like top pressure is fucking too much for a lot of people. Ask Doba.
yeah. Stop the cap. E-Bias pick. That is an E-Bias pick. He beat your boy Benny. And here's the thing. All right, I'm not gonna lie. That was pain, bro. That Benny fight was so pain. Like that was the definition of painful for me. But no, and here's the thing. I think Charles, to me, if you look at his career, right, he's his best performance against a legitimate grappler is probably okay. Beneil and Kevin Lee, right? Both those guys
Kevin
got
Lee's fucking down though as well. That's another fight that people forget about.
yeah, and fucking Kevin was doing great. And obviously I think Kevin's a way better lightweight than he is welterweight. So I'm not gonna fucking hate on Charles for that for it being competitive. But the thing is that those guys got top time. You know what I'm saying? You cannot afford Islam to get top time like that. The thing that made Volk so competitive with Islam is that he had so much urgency not to allow that game, not allow Islam to get top time. Charles does not have that urgency. That's just a fact. It's just a fact. He does not have it. He allows guys to stay on top of him. He tries to play that game of jiu-jitsu. It's not going to work with Islam, and Islam hits hard. That's one thing I'll give Islam. He's a bit of a more precision striker than even Khabib, in my opinion. To a certain degree, I give him some credit. His left hand is good, and he cracked Charles on the feet. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tough fight. And if there was a big year or 2 years in between, the first fight and this fight, then yeah. But this fight just happened last year. So how much improvement can Charles make? In between that, I think the recent fight between both these guys, I think it's gonna be tough. But I mean,
Yeah,
Charles has a chance. He's wild. He's a wild man. He can make anything interesting. Anything can happen. I'm not saying Charles can't win, but I think Islam beats him. I think Islam
yeah.
beats him.
I also think though, obviously to make things interesting, I think if you're Charles Oliveira and you wanted to fight one more guy before fighting Islam again, you would pick Benil Dariush, getting used to the southpaw, the left hand,
Yeah,
also the grounded base as well. You are. I'm not saying they're the same, but like, how many guys at lightweight have those metrics where it's right? Okay, I've got a dude with a grappling base who's also the same stance as the champion right now. How many?
yeah,
How many left-handed grapplers are there in that division? I can't even name. I couldn't name you five. I really
yeah,
couldn't.
yeah,
Look, before that, the last left-hander he fought was Dustin Poirier. It was 2 fights before that. I think, and I'm trying to look then. Kevin Lee's right-handed. Gordon's right-handed. I think Lentz, Timur, Miller. I think Miller's left-handed as well. But I think this is what I'm saying, bro. Like, it's just not a Clay Guida, Giagos. They're all right-handed fighters. Fowler's right-handed. Holloway's right-handed. Stevens is right-handed. This is what I'm saying, bro. Like, this whole southpaw thing. Like, people think I'm making excuses on being a schmuck, but literally, like, if you look at like statistics, like 10% of the population are left-handed. It's quite a rare thing to come across southpaw fighters, and to be
yeah,
accustomed to fighting southpaw fighters isn't as easy as people make out. To be honest,
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's what I praised Usman about. All the like we talked about it with Usman in one of the fight nights where we were saying, look, Usman is extremely well prepared for left-handed fighters because he's fought Colby Covington twice and he's fought Leon Edwards 3 times. There's nothing that's going to surprise you from that angle, because obviously they cut angles a bit differently. But I think yeah, it takes a while getting into left-handed. Islam's fought right-handed his whole life.
Yeah, Oliveira has a lot of reach on his. I don't know about that one actually. I think Islam might have the reach advantage. Islam's kind of long.
I'll have a look. I think Makhachev is a longer fighter, but I think Makhachev's reach is like some inches or something. It's not that crazy.
Yeah, but I think it's long. But I think I might be wrong, but I think it might be longer than Charles. Could be wrong there. It's my
I'm having a
opinion.
look at Charles now. Charles has reached 74.
Uh,
I think Islam's is like 70. Well, I'll have a look now. It's 70 and a half. He does,
oh
but he didn't fucking use it though.
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you're right. He is right actually. Oh,
It's like
I'll okay. Yeah, he's right. No, he's right.
the best fighters know how to use it, but he's got to do what Leon did against Usman, man. Like you've got to keep him at bay, like
Yeah.
particularly in the second fight, particularly in the third fight. Not so much the second fight, but you've got to be able to do that. But it's just, yeah, man. Like I don't know, Oliveira's never been that good of an anti-wrestler. He's not a Jose Aldo in that respect.
Yeah, and I mean, it could be interesting if he applies some calf kicks in that fight. I mean, that's something I thought Volk did really well of adding.
You're kicking across the
Right.
line. Volk was kicking with the lead leg a lot. He wasn't kicking with the back leg.
No, you're right. It was the lead leg, but sometimes he would attack though with the calf kick though a little bit. But you're right though. It was a lot of the lead leg stuff, and I don't think Charles has that in his.
Do you think Islam could look? Do you think Islam could look through Oliveira though, because he's already beat him? Because he comes across that way, especially the way he approached the Volk fight.
Yeah, there's a possibility. I mean, anything can happen in this sport. It can, but here's the thing. Okay, so if you look at, let's compare their last two fights, right? Volk obviously being an all-time great, right? And they had a phenomenal fight. I thought Volk won, right? That's just my humble opinion. You look at Charles' fight with Benny. I think Benny on the feet is not Islam Makhachev. As much as I love Benil, what did I tell you after Benny fought Gamrot? I don't want to fight Charles, even though I felt like he could beat him. The timing was bad. I say I don't. That's unfair. We need Benny versus fucking Islam automatic. I was mad they did the Volk fight with Islam because they fucking screwed Benny. That's why fuck Ali for life. Ali's a horrible manager. He can go fuck himself, that rat motherfucker. But here's the thing. Benny's a little more sloppier than Islam. That's just a fact on the feet. But I thought because of the grappling, they'd cancel each other out. Obviously, Benny goes forward. He's long. He does throw the body kicks. It was going to be a little dangerous. And especially on the feet, anything can happen. It's a 50-50 fight, right? But Islam's a little cleaner on the feet, and that's just a fact. And he's going to be more reserved. He's going to counter strike. And Charles isn't the kind of guy that's going to play the long range game. He's going to go forward. That's just all he does. He puts pressure on guys. That's who he is automatically. Islam's going to do what he did. He's going to use his lateral movement. He's going to look for the cross, and then he's going to look for the lead hook, and then he's going to look for the takedowns. It's there. Unless Charles adds something to that fight, attacking the legs, stopping the movement of Islam, stopping the takedown entries, there's no way he really wins this fight if he doesn't stop those two things. He has to stop the footwork of Islam, right? And he has to also stop the wrestling. And I don't know if he can stop either of those. That's the problem. I thought Benny for sure stopped the wrestling of Islam. That's the thing I was fucking banking on. And if he could stop the wrestling, then the fight gets interesting. You saw when Volk stopped the wrestling, the fight got interesting, right? The fight got real interesting. But the fact that Islam can do both, it's just a tough fight for Charles. I don't think Charles can stop that wrestling. And that's the problem.
It's hard as well because I think, obviously, this time last year, we looked at it with such conviction that we thought Charles Oliveira would win. But it's just because in my head and your head, we both thought that he got past those issues, but it's like at 33 years old, he hasn't. And it's like, at this point, you're just not going to. He's just, it's like that saying, isn't it? Like, you can't just click your fingers. Like, you can't teach Jared Corden how to put someone's lights out with one overhand right? It just doesn't happen. He don't spot people, and he's not going to anytime soon. It's just certain things that you're just not going to pick up overnight.
Exactly.
But I also think carry on.
No, I was just gonna say anything can happen, so anything can still happen, but I just don't see a path of victory for Charles just coming off that first, that first fight. It's such a dominant first fight,
Yeah, I agree with you there. I also think I think lightweight's a bit bro, it can, depending on who wins, it can be a bit sticky, to be honest, because Chandler's literally holding out for McGregor. Benil's out at the moment. Dustin
Yeah,
Poirier's out. Gaethje's waiting on the outcome of this fight. If if Charles Oliveira happens to win, I don't think we see Gaethje Oliveira too. I really don't. We could see it, but I doubt it. Because I think Charles will hold out from Michael Chandler and Connor, because he's expressed interest in fighting Connor. And I
yeah,
think the UFC would wait on that as well. And I think Justin Gaethje would get overlooked. That's my personal opinion. And I think um, if Islam Makhachev was to win that fight, then we also get to see him. We get to see him fight Justin Gaethje, which is an exciting fight. But if
yeah,
Charles Oliveira wins, we might see a trilogy between the two guys. But then
yeah,
people are going to argue about the Volk thing. But to be honest, I'm not. I'm in no rush to see the Volk thing right now, just because of, like I said, things change, right? If I thought Justin Gaethje was going to KO someone like that, I didn't think. Now I'm quite excited to see him fight for the belt. And now, like I said, if Oliveira's holding the belt, how fun is it going to be to watch him and McGregor? I know people don't want McGregor fighting for belts, but McGregor, Oliveira's going to want that paycheck. And like I said, Oliveira's not getting any younger. He's done this for a long time, and he's got like 30, 35 fights in his repertoire. So it's just like, there's a lot we can do, but it's a thing where if Charles Oliveira wins, his options are limited. If Oliveira wins, that division's going to get put on hold.
yeah. And I don't know. Like, I think I think I don't think we're ever gonna see that Islam Volk rematch. I think it was just too good the first time, and you know how they say, when you get something really good the first time, sometimes you don't get it as good as.
The sequel never lives up, and I don't think the
Yeah,
second fight will be as good as the first one. That's why I said to you, I think Islam would beat him in a rematch. I think he finishes him in the third round.
and also just Volk's a little older. I think I really, really do think fucking Topuria is sadly gonna fucking knock him out, and I think it's gonna be a passing of the torch. And I think hopefully Volk retires. I know he probably might go up to 155. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see an older Volk that got
Yeah,
chinned. You know what I'm saying? So I just honestly, truly believe. I think Islam's gonna build somewhat of a legacy at 155. I think he's gonna go and beat Charles. The Gaethje fight can be interesting, but I also do think he's gonna beat Gaethje. I just think even Gaethje, I'm sorry, as much as he did, he did his thing against Fiziev and Dustin. Both guys are strikers. No grappling was added in any of those fights, so we don't know where his grappling's at since the Oliveira and Khabib fight. Hopefully it got better, but I
yeah.
don't know, man. It's 155 is
Islam
like,
likes Makachev likes to play with fire, though, man. And
yeah,
Drew Dober, Gaethje's trained with Dober as well, so Dober will give him an insight in
yeah,
how Islam feels in the cage, and give him
yeah.
the look in terms of the southpaw grappling and all the rest of it.
Okay, no, it could
Because
be interesting for sure. I do think it can
yeah,
be interesting, but
you know what
and
I wanted to ask you? Do you know what I
uh
wanted to ask you? Because Colby Covington said he's right-handed, but he fights southpaw, right? And he was
yeah,
saying he likes his dominant hand being in front so he can scoop up for the single legs.
yeah.
In terms of initiating grappling from wrestling, because am I right in saying you're right-handed?
Yeah.
So when you're fighting orthodox, how does it work in relation to southpaw? Is it like, does Colby do
So
it? Is
like it's
Colby
like the same. So it's,
southpaw?
for instance, like Colby, um, with wrestling, it's like it's the same thing with stances. So for instance, like what's up with my dog Fuego? What's up, Fuego? But yeah, so it's the same thing. The way I'll box is the way I'll wrestle. So I'll wrestle both in the orthodox stance. But some guys, it's a little different. Some guys they might wrestle like a bit of a southpaw stance. They'll get in like their wrestling stance and stuff like that, but they might fight orthodox. Maybe it's just one of those things where you prefer that other side. So I think that's where Colby's kind of coming from. And a lot of these guys, here's the thing, with MMA, a lot of these guys can switch. You know what I'm saying? A lot of MMA fighters, it's not like a traditional thing where somebody has a specific stance and they like to compete. It's always good to learn from both. So a lot of these guys can do it from both stances. But I do.
I've always found it amazing that Colby's operated at such a high level despite being in technically his weaker stance.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think that's just it might have been just a bit of a. It's like the thing with Crawford. Like Crawford said, I think he had fucked up one of his hands, and he was just practicing with a different stance, and then just using that jab, just trying to really learn that jab from a different stance. So I think that's how he kind of got good at it. And that some guys are like that, but most people, like for instance, I wrestle at an orthodox stance, and then I probably would box at an orthodox stance, or I'd strike at an orthodox stance. That's just how it's gonna probably be for most people, because it's tough, man. It's like you switch stances. It's a different world. It's like you have to learn it. You have to, like, as much as time you put in that one stance, you have to also put in the other stance. It's not like you can just go and be good as a southpaw. It's like you've seen guys when they lose their lead leg as an orthodox. Do you remember in that Chandler fight when he lost his lead leg and he had to switch stances? He was a bit of a different fighter. He was getting clipped more. He wasn't moving because it's not his traditional stance, So, yeah. But that's pretty much it. Can we get Mafrovola versus Patty? I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. I don't think. I think Patty's gonna be running. He hasn't fought in a long time, huh? He hasn't fought since fucking. When's the last time that motherfuckers fought? He's fought like what, last year or some shit? I think Ed's a little. I don't know. I guess. You think Patty's finna? Of course he's finna duck. He's finna be running all day. Cammy and Patty disappear. I mean, well, Cammy's coming back. Kamzat coming back against Costa, but Patty's legitimately like on like a fucking. We got to put out fucking flyers for Patty Pimlet. Where is this guy at? Patty's scared of the ginger. I mean, on God, on everything. He is big scared. But yeah, I think Frivola probably smokes Patty. I don't know what Patty does. Patty has to be very, very careful right now. His career is on the fucking line. He's in a very hot waters. You know what I'm saying? Because not only did Jared Gordon beat him, he exposed him. He demasculated him in front of everyone that night. And every lightweight in the world has a good chance of beating him. And yeah. eBay, thoughts on Joe Pyfer versus Al Hassan? Dude, phenomenal. Huh?
Al Hassan's getting destroyed, bro.
Oh, yeah. Phenomenal fight for Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer is such a. Have you seen this motherfucker? Like, that dude's like, he looks like a fucking like giant of a man. Like, I was like, what the fuck is this dude on? What kind of fucking, what the fuck are they feeding him up in fucking Philly? But yeah, he's humongous, but I think Pyfer's a guy that's a legitimate contender.
Al Hassan fighting welterweight a couple of years ago, though. It's just like fucking hell, bro. It's not a good fight.
It's a good fight, though. It's a good. I like it. It's a good fight for Pyfer. I think Pyfer's going to show his grappling. I think that's one thing people haven't seen is Pyfer's grappling. They've seen the power. They've seen the good boxing technique. I want people to see him actually grapple.
Yeah. Have you been watching the Contender series at all? That's what I was going to ask you. Probably not, but I just wanted to ask.
Fuego said it best, man. Fucking only casuals watch that shit, so they act like they're fucking real fans. Fuck the.
Hey, yo, bro, don't roast me. I watched the last 3 weeks. I wanted to see if there was a half decent schmuck that was coming through.
It's not, man. I mean, I watched it last year because of Bo Nickel, but fuck that shit, man. Stupid ass shit.
Nah, I get it.
When is Cammy fighting Casa? I thought the fight no, they're fighting 294.
October
Ginger Power versus African Power. Ed, an underrated hater of Al Hassan.
Bro, this is the first time I've ever mentioned him. What the fuck? We've done 21 fight nights. Have I ever mentioned Al Hassan? He's not fucking relevant for us to talk about. What the fuck?
Yeah, I think you probably.
I'm all right. Have we talked about him at all?
Nah, you probably hated on him when what's it called? Probably on like on a live or some shit. Like when I was going live.
Oh, yeah. I'll cook everybody on the live, bro. No, but I don't discriminate. Everybody gets smoked.
Yeah. Pyfer by sub. Yeah, I think Pyfer's gonna sub him. Pyfer's teammate is good too. Yeah.
This is what I was saying. It was just like again. Again, it's just we were talking about middleweight earlier. It's like, bro, we're gonna get to a point where we're gonna see 2 wins, then they're gonna bounce. 2 wins, then they're gonna like jump up. We just saw it with Abus and Aliskerov. Like it's just like Aliskerov. He's fought Phil Hawes and now he's gonna fight Imavov, which is like he's ranked like number 11 or something or 12. And then obviously Abus fought obviously number 7. I don't know who he's gonna fight next. I don't even know if he's booked. I should check that. But
That fraudulent motherfucker. Oh my god.
yeah, bro.
Have you ever seen a guy get one KO win and then get a fight night main event?
I'll be honest, bro. Is it Schultzkiss? Oh, I forget his name, bro. The Greek name, bro. It's just that guy's not been on a good run lately. So it didn't really surprise me. But it's just Al Hassan still somewhere route. Okay, let's not talk about Rabibia. Let's not compare. Like my boy has got all finishes when we're talking about wins. Yeah, like, Al Hassan was still like he was a stiff wooden plank by the guy they called Colin. There's a guy called Colin knocked him out.
Hey, that's a fucking. Oh, dude, I forgot about Ramiz.
It's
Fucking.
Rabib, bro. So let's not do that. Bro, I don't even know. I ain't heard any fight news from him. You know. And that
Yeah,
guy
he's
doesn't
fighting in a minute. Yeah,
he doesn't tweet
like,
either. Bro. He's had so many cancelled fights. Like the Morales fight was a cancelled fight. He's had Carlson Harris. Like he got injured in the Carlson Harris fight in February. 6 months later, I don't know where he is.
yeah.
He pulled out the Morales fight as well.
Colin, hardest hitter at 170. What's up? Whatever, bro. Okay, and like
one trick, bro. You gotta be a schmuck to get caught with that trick.
I know, bro. But fucking Woolmerker, that was fucking hilarious. He brought
up, bro. That fight against him and Michel Pereira was supposed to be like fight of the fucking year, bro. And that fight was just so shit.
I almost did a breakdown on it. That's how fucking hyped I was for that fight.
Yeah, they let us down, man. Big time.
I do kind of want to. I do want to end the podcast, or I guess the fight talk, on one last topic. I wanted to talk about Ian Machado Gary. Okay, I really wanted to talk about him. We didn't get a real chance to bring him up, but I was talking to one of my friends that saw the fight. I wouldn't call him a casual, but he doesn't watch the sport as much. But he did watch Ian Gary fight, and he was like, "What's the hype with this guy? He reminds me nothing of Connor." And I was like, I told him like this. I said the guy is not Connor, but he actually has a lot of potential. Funny eBay, you hate Connor's last opponent, Ronaldo Bedoya, his punchable face. Yeah, I don't like that motherfucker. But
I said on the card with me, from what I remember.
No, but I was saying that Ian Gary, he's nothing like Connor, and he probably won't get to that success, but he's a cunt. I do think Ian Gary's a cunt, but he's becoming to the point where he's getting so much hate, he's actually becoming underrated, in my opinion. I think what he did against Neil Magny, I know Neil's a little older, so I'm not going to judge him like that, but like he beat like a prime Magny, but
yeah.
I was impressed by the performance. He was able to deal with the reach. And I am so confident he beats Jeff Neal. I am like that fight. I just want that fight to get rebooked. That's the number one fight I want to see. But he's such a cunt. He makes it so hard. You know what I'm saying? Like to like him.
I feel like that. But bro, do you know what's funny? The way Guru cooked him about the age comments.
I know. He makes it so hard, like legitimately hard. Like I can't like defend that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to be everyone hates on Ian Gary. You know, when there's that one fighter, you're like, he's not that bad, but people kind of over hate on him. And then you're like, you know what, might as well support him now. But like, I want to do it, but it's like, oh my God, bro. Like,
that's how I feel when you guys roast my boy Smith, you know, the disrespect.
Yeah, okay, now I feel that.
Because I'm always like, yo, he's fought the who's who of that division. He does try and all the rest of it. But then, obviously, like I said, like we were just discussing earlier, it's like, bro, he just talked about Alex not being scared of 205. It's like, he didn't realize he kickboxed at 205. I'm sure he's not. Let me look at the 205 rankings, yeah?
Yeah.
You're telling me he's fought some of the best kickboxers on the planet, but he's scared to strike with Dustin Jacoby, Manifield, Reyes,
He knocked
Muzakanov,
Justin Jacoby out, by the way. He knocked Justin
yeah.
Jacoby out in kickboxing too, by the way. Just saying.
Khalil
You know?
Roundtree, Ryan Spann, Uzdemir, Smith, Walker, Krylov, Rakic, Blahovic, who he's just fought, and Ankalaev. You're telling me he's scared to strike with all of those guys?
Man, you hear these people? Like, no.
I can't make sense of it, bro. I really can't. And it's like, bro, I'm sitting in that group chat looking like a schmuck. Is like, yo, this is your guy. I'm like, fuck, man.
I know. So, but back to Ian Gary though. Okay, what do you think about his ceiling? And do you think, after watching the Magny fight, do you think he beats Jeff Neal if they rebook the fight? I wanted to ask you that.
Okay, with the Jeff Neal thing, I think the kicking's a little different because of the stances.
Yeah.
I think Jeff Neal's left hand will present problems with him, especially because Jeff Neal's much more of a straight puncher. And
Yeah.
I think Ian Gary's angle is going to be, oh well, Luque's my boy, and Luque's fought him, so I can get a feel for him, and Luque's can help me with that camp and all that shit. It's like, bro, I think Luque's got a better chin than Gary. I think he's got better jiu-jitsu than Gary.
That's true.
And I think Luque's willing to engage more in the pocket. I think if Gary beats him, he has to stick and move him for 3 rounds.
I do. I think he's going to beat him. I think the footwork. I think Gary has very underrated footwork. I do
think it's better than Luque's though. His footwork.
Yeah, I think he has underrated footwork. I love his kicking game. His kicking game is probably his most underrated game. His boxing, it's good offensively, but he does leave some openings. That's one thing I didn't like he showed in the Kenan Song fight. But that left hook is there for Jeff Neal. But my God, I do think the Jeff Neal fight with Ian Gary is bigger now, because now Ian Gary talks a lot of shit. What he did in the Magny fight was so irritating. I hated that he flipped him off. He was talking.
You agree with me with this? I expect a Karen to do that kind of shit.
Yeah, right.
Like, you lost his man card for that one, bro.
Yeah,
you weren't thinking about that, taking your girl's name, and now you do that, bro. Like, come on, like, find your balls a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Man, oh God, you know, you're speaking facts. Like, and I don't know, bro. Like, I want to support him so hard in that Jeff Neal fight, but I think the Jeff Neal fight's gonna be fucking big.
I think if he beats him, it'll be a decision though, and I can't see him outpointing him though. But I also think, I remember telling you that I did think he was good. Like when he came to the UFC, I was like, yeah, he's good enough for the UFC.
Jeff Neal got to get it back in blood for his dad, and I yeah, that's true, and right, and that's also another aspect of this fight that makes it interesting. Now Neil Magny has a win over a guy that beat Jeff Neal, so now you can't even say that Ian Gary is he's not.
Probably something Ian says in the press, like you just know it.
Of course. I mean, I want to see it. I want to fight night main event. I want to see that fight so fucking badly. I really do. That's the fight. And it's such an underrated scrap because it's gonna be big, you know, because
I personally think he doesn't deserve number 6 though. That's just my opinion. Like I never wanted Jeff Neal to fight Ian Gary, and I never wanted Ian Gary to fight Jeff Neal. But that was just, yeah, man. I'm just looking at it and I'm like, bro, he gave us. I know he missed weight, but he gave us one of the fights of the years against Shavkat Rakhmonov.
That was such an amazing fight. Great fight.
Now we're gonna reward him with fighting number 11 after he put on a performance like that against number 6. Like, why not? Gilbert Burns is out for a while. Jeff Neal's out for a while. Why not give us the Gilbert Burns fight?
Yeah.
Jeff Neal and Burns is a fun fight, especially because Burns will want to get it back for Luque.
Also, you never know. Speaking of Burns, and I know I'm probably going to be extending this a little bit, but Burns might be fighting Dustin Poirier. You know what I'm saying? I think that's.
I don't know, bro. Dustin's too much of a pussy to fight a legit fucking welterweight. I doubt it, bro.
I mean, but you know, well, what can he say? Fucking Burns used to fight a lightweight. There's no fucking excuse. He can't.
I know, bro. I know, but I think Shavkat fucking court tweeted him, and then Dustin went fucking hiding, talking about 170.
Ooh, he don't even know who Shavkat is. You already know that. You already know. Yeah. Dustin Poirier you went blind for a second.
Everyone found out who Dustin Poirier is, though. He got spot the other month. Like, everyone knows who he is. He's on a fucking highlight reel, bro. He just got fucking James Vicked.
Yeah. I just want to see Jeff Neal or versus either Ian Gary or
Oh,
Jack Miller.
this Della Maddalena schmuck's getting on my nerves, bro. He's
I
not done
know,
anything yet. He's not done anything yet.
I know, man. And you know
I
what's wild?
guarantee he's going to lose to Holland and everyone will switch on him. But they're
I know,
already talking about him fighting Wonderboy Thompson.
and they act like the man did not lose his last fight. He
Yeah,
fucking
bro.
got exposed. I don't give a
And
fuck
your
what no one.
name's Giacomo, you fucking phony.
Yeah.
You Italian, bro.
Yeah.
Bro. Because he's my Italian cousin in it. So I'm just like, yo, like, come on, bro. Like, the name's Giacomo at home. You know your mom calls you Giacomo, so stop with this jack nonsense, okay? Come back and join the brotherhood again. Join the brotherhood. Join me and Marvin Vittori. We could be like the Three Musketeers or some shit. So with this
Stop hating on Giacomo.
yeah,
No, man, best boxer my fucking ass. I'm tired of everyone talking about him, and I think Jack Della Maddalena,
Holland's
but
gonna fucking out, bro.
But Holland likes to lose fights. That is true. He does like to lose fights.
And he beat that short notice power boost.
I
I'll need to watch that fight again, though.
He just called him, dude. I fucking love what Moonraker just did. Instead of calling him, instead of just Basil Hafiz, instead of saying his name, he just called him a short notice power. He didn't even name him. Yeah. He just called him a short notice power.
No, I get you. But do you know what? If they ever rebook Neil and Gary, you'll need to watch the Ponzi fight back. There'll be a lot of correlations between the two.
I mean,
that's goes without saying. Of course, I don't need to tell you to do your job. You're the MVP.
Oh, of course, baby. Of course, you know.
In terms of the metrics and stuff, bro. I've had a look at Jeff Neal's opponents, bro. They all don't have any stature to Ian Gary.
Yeah, I mean, he beats guys his size. If anyone's his size, he usually does well. But if they're taller and longer,
very good takedown defense. Very good takedown defense. Some of the best in the division, in my opinion.
This is fucking elite. He beat short notice power boost bomb, long leggy opponent like Kevin Holland and Randy Brown. All right.
Yeah, but Randy Brown's like the bootleg Kevin Holland, bro. You need to fight. That's the off-brand version. You need to fight the real schmuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and fucking Randy Brown, man, he let down the fucking squad that day. Fluke by Hafiz. But yeah, it is what it is, though. But yeah, man, that's it for fucking fight talk, man. I think this was probably one of our better fight talks in a minute. We went 2 hours, baby. We gave you guys a long one today.
That was the main thing. I kind of wanted to divert Joe. That was the main one.
I mean, I felt like we could have flamed you a little harder on Aljo, but I feel like I got all my shots in. I took all my anger out on that pack watch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't need.
Also, you recognize greatness anyways, so you didn't need to flame Aljo.
Don't get me started. You lucky I didn't start that fucking Dominic Cruz versus Aljo GOAT debate. You very, very lucky I didn't want to start that because I already pissed on the man's grave. I know you guys seen that fucking meme, me pissing on Aljo's grave, but besides all that, great fucking fight talk with my brother Ed. Was a phenomenal one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Go make sure you like this video. Let's get this fight talk thing noticed by multiple people. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, but make sure mostly like the fucking video. Also, I have Ed's fucking Twitter in the description box, so if you do not follow my dog Ed on Twitter, follow the man on Twitter.
If you like Aljo, fucking follow it. If not, bro, I'm gonna chew your ear off about Aljo. I'm not gonna.
If you're an Aljamain fan, a Leon Edwards fan, and a Stipe Muchacho fan, follow this guy Ed on Twitter, man. It will be in the description box. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Love y'all and goodbye. It's your guy and I'm out of here. And all right, Ed, say goodbye to these goddamn delinquents.
All right, guys, take care.
All right, see ya.